that isn't that crazy because we literally haven't looked down there. I mean, think about it.
That might be the craziest sentence anybody's ever followed up by saying it's not that crazy.
It's not that crazy.
A 3-minute monologue about some wildest shit you ever heard of. He goes, that's not that crazy.
Watch this. I'm gonna go touch the upright on my way over there. See if I still got it. Are we taping right now? All right, I'm going cold. Haven't warmed up today. I actually did go for a run earlier today, so my legs might be a little bit tired. Just FYI. But okay, first try.
Let's take. I'll bet that you can't touch it. Does anyone take that at all?
No, we can't. No, we can't.
Of course, you can't touch it. The thing is, it's far away enough that he won't be able. Like, we won't be able to prove it when he can't. Oh, he's slowing down. He's already lost. he's bouncing.
He's slowing down. He's already lost.
No. Oh, he didn't get it.
He gonna say he did it. He gonna say he did it.
He doesn't look excited. Someone pull up the footage and just see how many pixels are between his fingertips in the pylon.
Math.
Yeah.
Today is Thursday, and it is May. Hang on, I'm looking at my calendar. May 18th, 5/18. Welcome back. We've got a great episode today. Hollow Earth episode. We've got a Hollow Earth Truther that will be joining us in a little bit. So we get into that conversation. We also have a good start to the show. Vibes are high right now.
What's a cold call?
A cold call. Here, can we just start recording right now?
Yeah,
we're all recording.
Oh,
okay,
wait,
what's
the podcast started? Oh shit!
I mean, we were just
Well,
recording.
we can cut in whenever.
We were just recording to watch PFT, not hit the.
That has to be clipped separately. Yeah, I want to see that separately.
Whatever. We'll get the internet sleuths on it. Arian, good question. What's a cold call? I used to do that all day, every day for like 2 years. It's when you call somebody out of the blue and you try to sell them something. So I was selling software, custom software or software testing. So I would find out who the CTO was of a company and I'd call them up on the phone and then they pick up and then they're like, who's this? And then I have to say who I am and try to get them interested in my product before they hang up on me. It's a fun little dance.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm calling you.
Call me. Yeah.
All right. What's your title and what company do you work for and what am I selling you?
Well, you'd have to tell me what you're selling me, right?
I used to do this. Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, let's put a scenario in place here.
All right. I am the owner of a light bulb company, and it's a local mom and pop. You know, we've been doing business in the city for 50, 60 years. Good quality light bulbs.
Okay, that's the name of it. GCL.
My name is Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson at Good Quality Light Bulbs, GCL.
GCL. Yeah.
Okay. Ring.
Hello.
Hey, Jack Johnson. This is a cold call. Do you want to hang up first, or should I?
Well, this isn't Jack Johnson. He's far too busy to be answering phones like this. But if you want me to get a hold of him, I absolutely will.
Oh yeah, that'd be great if you could help me out. I'm really embarrassed that I called the wrong person on this one, so I appreciate you helping me.
Not a problem. I'll patch you right in.
Okay.
This is Jack. Hello, this is Jack.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I was just dealing with a call that was coming through on the other line. Hey, my name's PFT.
How you doing? What can I do?
I'm good. It sounds like you don't remember me.
The name does not ring a bell. Can you PFT?
Yeah. I just had a note on my desk to give you a buzz. I know that you run Good Quality Light Bulbs, right?
Yes. We've been a family-owned, operated business for a good 50, 60 years.
Okay, so that makes sense why I would have a note to give you a call. I actually represent an electricity company, and so I know that at Good Quality Light Bulbs, you guys are probably in the market for a lot of electricity, and we've got a great introductory rate right now. We're willing to undercut whatever company you do business with by 20% for your first 6 months. How's that sound?
It sounds a little outrageous. I mean, we've been doing business with regular electricity company, REC, for 20 years. What should, I mean, 20% is a lofty goal. I mean, say more. I mean, I'm interested, but
Yeah.
how
I mean,
can you do that?
you're a business owner. I'm a business owner, CEO to CEO. At the end of the day, I've got people to answer to at the bottom line. And if I would guess, I don't want to assume anything about your business, but if you're a light bulb company, you probably use a lot of electricity. And if we have a service that can provide better, cleaner, faster electricity for 20% less, I would assume that that'd be something that you're interested, but maybe I'm way off.
I mean, I'm definitely interested, but I'll be honest with you, FTP. It sounds like bullshit. 20% sounds like bullshit. I'm just being honest, CEO to CEO.
Yeah.
You and your important desk notes and calls. 20% sounds like bullshit.
We might not be the right company for you then.
I mean, you called me.
Yeah, but after hearing you explain to me, the challenges you face as a business owner, it might not be a match, and that's fine.
Well, I'm interested. Let's talk a little further.
Okay. Hang on real quick. Let me just got a appointment here, and is it okay if I hop off in about 2 minutes? I'm kind of time boxed in right now. I have a very important client coming in, and I want to make sure that we treat our clients with the utmost service if they're going to be using our services to them. So I'm happy to walk you through all the details. I in past experiences that I've had with CEOs, they might not want to get down into the details. Now I can talk electricity with you till I'm blue in the face. I'm happy to get into the weeds on that. But is there anything in particular you'd like to know about our service, where it comes from, the speed rate that we have on delivering the electricity, our pricing model? What's important to you?
You know what? I like the cut of this guy's jib, and I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you get to your call, and I'll be in touch with you because I'm interested. I like the way you're talking.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Tell you what, call me back, and I hate to do this right now. Hang on 1 second. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, can you bump my 155 just 5 minutes? Would that be okay? Yeah, and tell him I'm very sorry to keep him waiting. I wouldn't want to do that. But while he's waiting, make sure he gets Fresca, Diet Coke, coffee, filet, whatever he wants. Yeah, I know he's a good friend of yours too. So just catch up with him. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I can actually walk you through the pricing model right now if you'd like to. You have any kids?
I do.
Okay, so I assume that passing on a cleaner, more stable world would be something that would be important to you, right? The environment is probably something that you at least think about every now and again.
Climate change is a hoax. I think we'll be fine. Let's maximize these profits. Let's make this air as dirty as we can.
Well, that's good because we run a filthy business. The way that we're able to deliver such a great brand of electricity to you at a lower price is precisely because we cut every single corner when it comes to regulations. We've got entire office space that's just filled with lobbyists. And so they're working day and night to reduce regulations. And we're even breaking some regulations that they won't know about, that we're actually going to write into law to say that it's okay in the future. So we're able to get a leg up on our competition because we pollute more, we drive faster, and we don't give a fuck about the environment or the future. Let's make some money, that's what it's about for us.
And I'm so glad you pushed your meeting back, because I was gonna get on a call with you later on, but you have just tickled my fancy. I'm in. Mm-hmm. I'm cutting ties with this 20-year company that we've had this in place. They're talking about renewable energy and all this gobbledygook liberal bullshit. I'm with you.
Yeah,
let's do this.
Listen, we don't sell gay electricity, okay? We sell red-blooded, full diesel American energy to you.
I love to hear it. I love to hear that there's still electricity companies out there that haven't gone woke, and they understand we need good, clean, quality American muscle electricity. None of that bullshit. Let's do this.
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. All right, I'm not here to jack you around. Get it, Mr. Johnson? But let's set up it. Wait, hang on. I got a call coming in right now. Bear with me for just 1 second.
Now take your time, please.
Yeah, this is FTP.
Well, hey there, FTP. I just heard some talking you were doing about type of business y'all are doing down there at what's the company again?
This is fucking fast electricity.
Okay, well I just heard some stuff I liked, and I was wondering if we could get on the horn as well if you're not busy after your 2 o'clock.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this sounds like the chairman and CEO of Big T Motors.
That's absolutely right.
Wait, is
Yeah,
Big
tell
T
you what, I'm
Motors
full-
going electric?
Oh, who's that? I want to do business with Big T. I don't want to do business with Lil B. Hang on.
Scott?
Let me close the deal real quick. I'm closing the deal on the other line. Big T, I'm going to give you a call right back. Big fan of your work, by the way.
Absolutely, you as well.
All right. So what's your credit card, Jack?
My credit card.
Yeah, that's how we close this deal.
Tell
Tell you what, I'm gonna have Cheryl send you an invoice. We'll just invoice it. Put it off till later. You don't have to pay. We got, loosey goosey payment terms, 30-day net accounts receivable over here. So we'll get that straightened out. But I feel like the CEO to CEO chat has run its course. We're good doing business. Let's make the sparks fly.
Good old American spit in the handshake, better than a contract.
All right, there you go. That's how you close a deal. That's how you run a sales call.
All right, cold call. Now I know.
Yeah, it's a tough job. I feel bad for anybody that has to get into the cold call business these days because nobody uses phones anymore.
Yeah, and there's a lot of spam and shit too. So like some of the tactics that you were using that I picked up on is seeming busy part of it. Like you wanted to seem busy.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like you're desperate for a sale because if you put that across, then people are going to be like, oh, I don't want to. For whatever reason, they're like, I don't want to do business with this guy who really, really, really wants to do business with me.
Oh, just make it seem like come if you want, but I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, take it or leave it. And also, they teach you whatever emotion the other person is showing, show a similar emotion, but always be like less of that emotion than they are. So if you were like, this is incredible, I can't believe you're going to give me 20% off. Let's close this deal right now. I would be like, I mean, that sounds great. I would love nothing more than to win your business, but let's make sure it's a good fit before we close this thing out. So let me just ask you a couple questions about your needs and make sure that what we provide over here is going to be a good fit for what you guys do. Is that all right? Or if you're like, get the fuck off the phone, I'll be like, yep, this was a bad call to make. You're probably right. Like I feel bad. Didn't mean to interrupt your day. Sounds like you've been dealing with cold callers all day long. You mind if I just take 20 seconds? I'll tell you what we do. If you don't like it, then you can tell me to fuck off and I'll hang up.
It's not an easy job. Like you have to be emotionally intelligent. Like you have to understand people's emotions, and there has a skill set involved.
A lot of lying involved too.
Yeah, a lot of lying. You'd be great, Billy.
No, I don't think so.
You're lying. That's a lie right there.
No,
and you're doing
no.
But yeah, anybody that has to like pick up a phone and dial, some companies make you call like 40, 50, 80 people a day. It's tough.
Jeez. There's no way I could do that.
And you also get told no a lot. So you can just get beat down, and a lot of people just give up after a while because they hate hearing no over and over again.
Does it feel like a success? Like you feel like it's a win when you sell something? Like it's like I did that.
For a while, yeah, it's a good feeling for sure. But then some people love that. I didn't really love it. But the people that do love that feeling and love, if they're like money motivated and all they care about is money, then they can have a good career in sales. But if you're not, if that doesn't like actually fulfill something that you want, then you're going to burn out at some point. Even if you're a good salesperson, you'll burn out.
I feel like Vince Vaughn is the best salesperson I've ever seen. He actually, there's a couple movies he was a salesperson in, but the one, The Internship.
Great movie.
Yeah.
That's a fucking brilliant movie. He just has this way of conveying shit that had me, you know what I'm saying? He had me wanting to buy the shit he was selling in the movie. Shit was he's nice with that shit, dog.
Yeah, it's a skill set, man. It is. So maybe I'll teach Big T and Billy to make some cold calls for macrodosing.
I did a little cold calls in my day, but it wasn't sales. It was looking for a job and trying to lease space, but a little different than selling a product.
So you were calling a landlord and being like, "I'd like to give you money, sir."
No. I'd call tenants and be like, "Hey, I see that your lease might be ending soon. Are you looking for new office space?" And then like everybody's lease is usually like on a 2 or like usually when you're calling, their lease might be up. You don't know at the time, so then that's why they're either like, "No, our lease is up in 2 years." I'm like, "Oh, sorry." Then you like take a little note. Didn't have the job long enough to call back in 2 years. But
Yeah. Yeah, then it always happens like on your first couple of days you'll get a call like that and somebody will say, "I'm not interested," and they'll just lie to you and they'll say like, you know, "I'm going to be in the market in like you said 2 years or 18 months." And then you go into your little note system and you put a note in, "Call this person back on this date like 18 months from now," knowing full well you're not going to be working at that job in 18 months, but you still put it in there.
Yeah. The hardest one though is like trying to get a job and just cold calling different people in different departments and just being like, "Hey, I was wondering if you're hiring. I just graduated from macrodosing university and majoring in this, and I thought I'd be a great fit for your company." Some people liked it, some people didn't. So
That's a cold call too.
yeah,
Hey,
that's
you're
a
selling
hard
yourself,
one.
though.
Yeah, that's a hard one. You really gotta selling yourself is weird as fuck.
So not to
Yeah.
I know this is an amazing conversation about cold calls, but I wanted to bring this up, bro, because I just found maybe I don't know how I just found out about this, but have y'all ever heard of Phoenix Jones?
No.
Okay, bro. Phoenix Jones was a mixed martial artist. He fought in the MMA who lived in Seattle. So his origin story was this. He was at a supermarket with his kid. He comes back outside. His car window's broken. And I guess they stole some shit or whatever. He ends up his son ends up slipping and falling in the broken glass, and he's just like mad as fuck. He's like, "I'm tired of the crime in the city." My guy puts on a real superhero outfit, bulletproof vest, gets it tailor made, and then is a real life literal vigilante running around fighting crime in Seattle, right?
Yeah,
And
I have heard of him. Yep.
shit is wild. Okay, so then this is in doing so, he starts like filming shit here and there, starts doing shit, and then other people hear about it, and so he forms like a clique of superheroes. So they come and they dress up with him and they walk around and they fight crime. And this dude's like, he got shot twice, he got stabbed. He was really out here doing shit, but he ended up getting arrested because he started beefing with the Seattle PD. And he started beefing with it like on some bullshit, like low key, because they were like, "Yo, this is dangerous. Like, don't do this. You're involving yourself in all these incidents." And then he starts like calling them out on their lack of response time, on how they do things, and so they don't like him, right? So like during like some of his altercations, like one of them, he's breaking up a fight. Both of the parties start attacking him. He pepper sprays them, and then the police get called, and they end up arresting him. Shit's hilarious. And so those charges got dropped, but they ended up getting disbanded because like he hung up his cape. His his superhero friends, they started turning on him because they started talking shit. There was like, all he does is walk around like areas where drunk people are, and like drunk people obviously are going to commit crimes, and he just that's what he does. Like, and then it kind of got a little racist when he was like, because he's a black dude, right? And he was like, he don't go on Martin Luther King Boulevard where there's real drug dealers and real gang members, right? And so like the inner turmoil between the superheroes, he's saying, "You ain't really out here fighting crime, you just fucking with drunk people." And so he ended up hanging his cape up, man. That shit was fantastic story I had never heard about before.
Well, vigilante justice hasn't been too popular lately.
Yeah.
I've
true.
never liked it. But what are you referring to?
There's some stuff on the New York City subway. A guy got arrested. A guy
Oh,
choked
yeah.
a dude out, and unfortunately the guy died. And now the guy
Well, he
who
killed
choked
him.
out. No.
Don't be like he choked him out and then somehow he died.
He died.
Like he died because he got choked out. The guy choked him out and killed him.
Well, I don't think he was trying to kill him.
Right, but he choked him out and killed him. Now
Okay.
I wasn't
Wow.
on the subway. I don't know what the person was doing, if the person was actually threatening anybody, because there's no video of that. But the guy choked him out and killed him.
My mom
That's
used to say the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So what is his defense? Because I saw all the Republicans or conservatives, they're like they banded together and they got this man like I think it's like up to like almost $2 million now. His defense attorney GoFundMe fund.
Yeah.
Why has this been politicized? Is it because a white dude killed a black dude? Is that what I'm guessing?
Yeah.
A little bit, and it's also tied into crime in cities in America. So the person that was the person that was killed, he had a pretty considerable rap sheet, and he had some mental health issues. And people are saying, well, this person was probably threatening people on the subway when this happened, given his rap sheet. But we don't know because there's no video
When
of
there's
what the
when
person
there's
was doing.
two other people on the subway car helping him restrain the guy while he's choking him out, I kind of think that the majority of the subway car was sort of condoning his actions. So they saw what happened before. So, like if you look at the video, there's 3 other guys helping him restrain him. So if there's I'm not saying what happens right. I don't want anyone to see like anyone died, but you've been riding the subway. You've been around New York City. Like Mad Dog got chased by a guy in a mask. Like it's fucking Gotham City, and there's no Batman.
No, it's really not that bad. Like New York.
I've
New York
grown up
City
in
is
New
not
York
that
City.
bad.
It has gotten way worse. It's like I used to ride the subway at 9 years old. Like
by myself.
Like you like it wasn't like this. I don't know. It wasn't like this.
What are you talking about? Yes,
It wasn't in the 2000s, in the early 2010s. It was not like this. I can say that for a fact.
I forgot that's when.
Like yes, of course, in the 80s, in like during the
80s,
90s was bad, but like
crime happens in waves, my brother. It'll go like this and it'll dip and it'll go up. Look at all the statistics throughout our history. That's what crime is and does.
I know, but there has been a change. So
I think the reality of the situation is whatever he was doing, unless he was like about to kill somebody on that subway, you can't just kill a person because they're acting irrationally on a subway.
What if they're threatening people?
You can't kill people, man. What are you talking about?
What about attempting?
You
like
can't kill him.
I'm glad he got a manslaughter charge, which is much better than a murder charge because it has to do with intent. He didn't. I do not believe that the guy intended to kill him. I think he intended to incapacitate him. Arian, if you were doing jujitsu, and you choked a guy out, have you ever been in a jujitsu gym when a guy passes out because he doesn't want to tap out?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if that guy accidentally died by some reason?
Well, it's because there's a way you choke them. You're taught how to choke people, and I'm almost positive. I don't know anybody in the military personally. Well, I haven't talked to anybody in the military in that capacity, but I would be surprised if they're not taught how to choke somebody out.
Yeah, it was also like he held the choke out for minutes on end.
And also, you can restrain somebody without choking them. Like you don't have to choke them. It's why isn't that use of excessive force in police departments, isn't it banned because of that reason?
A lot of them do have that, yeah.
It's like an illegal thing to do. You can't go run around choking people, dog. Like if restraining people that are erratic or whatever the case may be and a threat to people, I understand that. But there's
there's actually like a lot of time on the subway there could be something that's happening where it is a clear and present threat and people just look down at their phones and they ignore it. So it's not like I wouldn't care about public safety in that regard. But if you restrain somebody and you choke them for I forget how many minutes that he held the chokehold out and killed him, it's because you choked the man out and you choked him to death.
and you have you have to squeeze with a certain amount of force in order to restrict breathing. Like you have to do that, like, and you have to do it for an extended period of time. So like you could have put him on his stomach. If there's 3 people restraining him, it was excessive. It was excessive, and so he'll get off. It's just to say he'll get off.
I don't think he's getting off.
I think he'll get off.
I mean, he might get convicted of manslaughter because he did extrajudiciously kill a person.
But he could claim self-defense. He's gonna claim self-defense.
I mean,
I wasn't threatened in my life. I don't know the New York laws, but
people have come
odds are
forward
he'll get off.
from the subway saying that the guy was saying, "I'm ready to go back to jail. I'm ready to hurt somebody to go back to jail. I'm ready to kill." Like I think the term was, "I'm ready."
Well,
to
no,
kill somebody
he
to go back
said
to jail.
He said, "I'm not afraid to go back to jail. I'm not afraid to die." So he didn't. From what I've read, and I've read a lot about it, he didn't threaten to kill anybody. He just said he's not afraid to die.
I think there was threats of harm. New York. So the quote is,
And there might have been. I wasn't on the train, but I haven't read anything that shows that he was making direct threats or endangering anybody's safety at the time.
it was quoted, "I'll hurt anyone on this train."
Okay, I didn't know that.
Therefore, kill him.
Restrain him. I mean, look.
I'm with you. If you want to,
In reality, it's not. I don't think it's. Both of them are almost victims of the scenario because New York City should have never allowed the public officials let it get to this point where there's so many people not getting taken care of. Like this guy definitely needed help. Jordan Neely, the guy who unfortunately passed, like he needed help and he wasn't able to get it because of how our government, like especially the city government, recently has been operating. That's the real crime. The real crime is that this guy needed help and he should have never been in that situation on the train to, like threatening those people. He should have been helped. Someone should have helped him. And he's been in the system enough where they should have helped him. So that's the real tragedy, and not in that, like it's an unfortunate situation that this guy felt that he had to do that. No matter like thinking in the right scenario, who knows, this guy may have been a combat veteran, the one who did it. He may have we don't know like how the whole situation, and it's unfortunate in all things, but
So the video showed the chokehold lasting 4 minutes. There were some reports that prior to that, it had been going on for several minutes already. So 4 minutes is a long ass time to hold somebody in chokehold. That's a very long time to be exerting force on somebody's neck. And apparently a man, after 2 minutes on the video, a man came on the train to warn that the chokehold could kill him or could injure him, and he kept it going. So he was told by another passenger, like, hey, this could hurt him, and he kept going. So it's you should not be allowed to kill another person on the subway unless they're trying to kill you.
But even then, like if it's, I just,
I mean,
this is like it's definitely a divided thing, right? Because like he's obviously going to claim he was in fear for his life, which he obviously wasn't. But
or if in fear of someone else's life.
He wasn't in fear, bro. If you have somebody down on the ground and they're unarmed, there's no fear there. It's a tactic. It's a tactic used to get people out of crimes that they commit.
I have a feeling that this guy thought that the guy was like healthy enough to get choked out and not die. I think he was just gonna make him pass. In his head, he was probably like, "I'm gonna make this guy pass out, bro, and then just let the police come."
Not for 4 minutes.
You can't.
Well,
read
the thing was,
he
was moving.
or pretend to.
I'm not, but like that.
So you kind of are. You just said like I have a feeling in his head.
Do you think he it was warranted? Him killing him was warranted?
I don't think him killing him was warranted. I think that he didn't mean to do that. I think he meant to choke him out. Yeah. Like how many? I mean, like
that's wild. I hear you.
You also get into a weird conversation where if somebody was in fear of something happening, then you have to figure out if their fear was justified or not. So if if somebody that has never been to a city before comes on a subway train and sees somebody that's just pacing and talking to themselves. I'm not saying that's the case in this scenario, but let's say that you grew up in, I don't know, Wyoming, and you come to New York City for the first time, and you've heard on the news from Billy that New York City is a very scary place to live. No, I'm just saying, like, you've heard that New York City is a scary place to live
from Billy,
and then you come to New York, and you come to New York, and you see somebody pacing on the subway and screaming, something which is like abnormal behavior, obviously, that could be considered to be menacing. And that person is afraid of the homeless guy that's walking back and forth yelling. And that person's legitimately scared of this person and restrains them and ends up killing them because they were afraid. Then you have to figure, like, was that fear justified enough to kill the person? And that's like everybody has different fear levels. And then you have to figure out if there was actually a threat that a standard or a normal person would consider was a threat. So it's a very murky conversation, but it sounds like, I don't know, manslaughter is probably the right charge to start with. I don't know, because I can't get inside the guy's head. I don't know.
Well, it's
what happened on the train before it happened.
The thing is, like, I know of people who have gotten manslaughter charges from, like, punching a guy in the head and then the guy hits the curb and dies. Like, that happens all the time. But, like, it's like, I'm just saying that it's an unfortunate situation all around. Like, but the fact that this guy's being, like, I don't know.
The fact that he's being what?
No, I was just bringing up the topic because we were talking about vigilante justice.
Yeah. I guess without
no justice,
without like a video of what happened before, maybe the person was attacking people on the subway. I haven't seen anything that showed that he was, like, hitting anybody or threatening to hit anybody. Who knows? I don't know.
Even if
it's going to be very tough for a jury to sort out.
If that dude was running down the train, slapping everybody in the face, he didn't deserve to die. That's crazy.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. But I don't think he was trying to kill him.
Yeah. And that does matter in the eyes of the law. So that's why manslaughter would be the charge. If you unintentionally kill somebody using a move that has been known to kill somebody in the past, it's like a gray area and it's tough to prove intention. But if he legitimately was not trying to kill him, or if he didn't know that it could kill him, then it sounds like manslaughter is the right charge. But if he knew that it might, then you could make the argument for murder too.
I doubt it. Did he has he spoken out?
Well, he's not getting charged with murder, so
right.
They're only going to try him for manslaughter. Because the thing is, if they charged him with murder and try to convict him on murder, he would get off. Like, it would
and
be
then you can't go back and retry him.
Yeah. So
I've seen Law and Order.
He hasn't said anything yet.
Well, if you accidentally kill a guy, you probably call your lawyer and be like call a lawyer ASAP.
I'm saying like via statement. Has the lawyer released a statement or anything?
No, I mean, I blame the city. Like, I blame the government.
No offense, why are you defending this guy so hard?
Because I mean, like,
he's sick of these streets and these criminals.
Like,
he can't even. There's no 9-year-olds on the subway anymore.
Like, I get scared on the subway a lot. Like, there was a guy, like, sharpening his knife next to me yesterday. But, like, just kind of like what it is sometimes. Like, it's like you gotta take the good with the bad.
Billy, let me put a different scenario in front of you. Okay, you're at a bar in Hoboken, and you're really pissed off. Some guy, like, came up to you and was like, "Billy Football, you pussy," and like, and shoved you, right?
Yeah.
And then you punch this guy in the face, and then he punches you back. You get into a fight. His friend sees you attacking his buddy, comes up behind you, puts you into a chokehold until you die. What should happen to that guy that just killed you?
Well, there'd probably be video footage of me basically getting jumped by two dudes.
No. You're fighting with one guy.
No, but I'm defending myself after he pushes me.
Yeah, but
so he's a threat to me, and I'm defending myself. So
But you're also
That's
a threat to
manslaughter.
his friend.
That's manslaughter. If
Okay.
I go up to a guy and just start, I don't know, there would be video evidence in that situation, like that would basically like get them convicted.
Yeah.
Like that
Why
situation.
aren't there cameras on the subway?
It'd be too many crimes. You catch too many people pissing in between the carts.
They don't want to know.
Yeah. Same reason why there's not that many cameras on college campuses.
Yeah. It's a little like we almost would rather turn a blind eye to every crime because we don't have the
Yeah.
infrastructure necessary to prosecute everything that we see.
Those things would be gone in 3 months.
That's also a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, they just get
People would fuck with them.
smashed.
People, no one would want to watch that much footage of.
Yeah, there's so many subway cars
Yeah.
when you
I
think
it
about
would
it.
be. I think it'd be doable, and maybe just, it'd be a city expense. Update the cameras every 6 months or whatever, 3 months.
But the
however.
people that had that job that would have to review the footage would be like the people on Facebook that have to review every video that goes up, and they spend 2 hours in a row watching just the most heinous shit
Yeah.
possible, and then they have to take like mental health breaks every 2 hours and talk to a therapist about what they just saw. Imagine people that had to review every single minute of
That's what I'm
video
saying,
on every
yeah.
New York subway.
But wouldn't they just review the footage, the timestamps of something that happened that was reported?
Which
Possibly,
all
yeah.
the reported stuff would be pretty heinous because they have to report it.
Well, not what I'm saying. They don't just have to sit there and watch empty carts and people sitting there. They'd be like, okay, at 12 o'clock, boom, this was supposedly happened, and then we review the footage. You don't have to like sit there and just watch subways.
What's
Has everybody here, maybe not you, Aaron, because you haven't spent that much time in New York, but has everybody seen somebody taking a shit
jerking
either in a
off?
subway station or on a car, jerking off and pissing? Have you
Yes.
hit the big three?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doing crack.
I've seen everything. I'm
Heroin.
trying to think of the craziest thing I've seen on a subway. Mostly just dudes jerking off.
Me getting chased was pretty crazy.
I've
Yeah.
seen
That is
peeing.
crazy.
Yeah.
All I've seen was peeing.
Oh no,
That's-
I've seen two people fucking.
On the subway?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty disgusting. It wasn't.
What?
It wasn't.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't like
You guys
Pornhub in real
stroked me at
life.
work?
No, it was like Dirty Mike and the Boys, like other guys reference. That
What
not,
if it was hot people fucking on the subway?
it wasn't like subway.
Is that as bad of a crime?
it was pretty disgusting. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I can see that.
I'm
You
pretty
never forget your first public masturbator.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
I've seen two up close. Well, I've seen more than that, but two like up close. There was one guy that was in the subway station right next to our office, and I was getting off the train, and he was getting off himself. He was in a sleeping bag, and he was in the main vestibule, and people were just walking past him. It was rush hour, and he was just cranking it, just laying on his back, just cranking it. And there were probably hundreds of people just walking past him. Just okay, whatever. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to pay any attention to this. That was a shocker to see for the first time.
What-
And
but
then
what
I
would
saw-
you?
PFD,
Yeah.
hasn't it gotten worse since COVID? You can
I
admit
don't-
that. And I think it's more, it doesn't
What-
have to do with
no,
crime
no,
in
no.
general.
No, I don't. I personally don't see any difference really. Well, now for COVID, when COVID hit the subway, there was nobody on it at all, and it was really easy, and you wouldn't see that much stuff going on in that first year of COVID because nobody was really riding it. But I don't think that it's. I can't say honestly that it's worse now in my personal experience than what I saw for the first 4 years when I moved to New York.
It's definitely
It's always
worse.
been bad.
But,
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you what would you have the people? You said these people just walk by and do nothing. What would you have them do? Stop and watch?
No, it's just nobody was shocked by it. That's more what I'm saying.
Oh, I think people are like that, but you just have no choice. Like I've been
Yeah.
definitely shocked by things in New York, but you just there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's like everybody was numb to the fact that there's just a guy jacking off in the middle of hundreds of people right now.
Did you
That's more of the thing that it was for me.
Vondelpark in the Netherlands. Vondelpark is the largest. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but Vondelpark is the largest park in Amsterdam and the most famous in the Netherlands. Public sex became legal in the park in 2008. So you can have sex in public over
That
there.
sounds like something the Dutch would do.
Yeah, I mean that's the least surprising thing.
I mean, we have otherized it in a way that's kind of wild to me. Like, sex is so taboo, but it's like we're all here because of that shit. I don't. It's just sex. It's just boobs, just sex, just ass.
boobs.
It is what it is, man. We have just like naughty did it. It's just so naughty. Like,
Yeah,
it's just not, it's not a big thing.
If
man.
dudes want to
sex.
jerk off in front of other people on the subway, like,
No, in a regulated park, in a well-regulated
in a
park.
well-regulated, the
You have to opt
69th
into the park.
69th Amendment, a well-regulated orgy.
Yeah.
Being
The right to bear
necessary
penis.
to the security
Yeah.
of a definitely not free state.
It's there was another time that was shocking to me. I was out for a run, not to brag, this was like 5 years ago, and I was coming around a corner, and as I was turning the corner, there was a guy that was just standing up on the sidewalk. This was on the West Side Highway. He was standing up on the sidewalk facing a building and just jacking off. Actually, I think I was walking Leroy. I don't think I was running. I'd like to take back my not to brag. I was walking Leroy, and we walked around the corner, and the guy was just cranking it. And as I turned the corner, he got shocked by me. He didn't expect me to be there. He definitely didn't expect Leroy to be there. And he just looked at us as he was finishing. And then I was right next to him. And then he just shot all over his cardboard that he had laid down.
Oh my god!
And me and Leroy just turned around and walked the other way. It was pretty bad.
There's actually, I like homeless people that I know. You know what I'm saying? it's more because there's homeless people that you see every day, like your local, like the guy that, and that's like there's on St. Mark's Place, there's this guy I know.
There's some camaraderie.
It's like the Zoom guy. You see him in the morning when he probably just got whatever he got, and he's just like having a dance party by himself. Like the ones that you know that aren't like erratic, like. There's like a guy in Hoboken. People probably know who he is. He's the screamy guy. He just starts going wah, and then he's like, "I need a cigarette," and then he'll just run up to you like, "I need a cigarette." I'm like, that guy, all he wants is a cigarette, and he probably just wants like peace. And then you see him with a car, like then. But it's the random, like, yeah. It's just
Billy,
you know that
Billy
there's
likes
certain-
the homeless guys that are like characters in a children's book, where you're walking down the street and it's like, oh, here's Friendly Harry the postman. Oh, there's Glinda the firefighter.
No.
Oh, that's homeless Joe the beggar.
And he wants all his homeless people to drop life gems on him. Like everything he walks by, and is like, "Hey, son, you know life is like." Bro, most homeless people. I mean, there are some like sane homeless people, but the majority of them are going through extreme mental issues.
Yeah.
And they and everyone around them has given up on them, and so there's nowhere to turn.
And I got bad news. There's going to be more homeless people because nobody can afford to live anywhere good anymore. Like it's the housing crisis is just starting to show its ugly head. I think you're going to see more people that get priced out of the cities they grew up in, and they're not going to have anywhere to turn, and they're going to go out on the streets.
Well, I think there's definitely about to, like, I was like reading a bunch about this because I thought BlackRock was trying to buy up every house in America to make us all rent and, you know, a little WEF, rent everything, own nothing, be happy. But in reality, they're trying to stimulate more building, like what's the word? They're trying to like create a market where real estate developers and lenders need more housing, so they start building more housing, so more affordable housing gets built, and that, you know, it's sort of the free market takes its, you know, it does its thing and ends up.
You sound like you're putting on a cape for BlackRock right now, Billy.
Because I was reading up on it and I kind of didn't want to believe that, you know, we're in this dystopian future where, you know, Soros is turning our cities into, you know, dumpster fires so that property values go down and BlackRock can buy everything and then we all become corporate slaves. I didn't want to believe that, so I started taking the rational approach.
Yeah, it's not just BlackRock, but there's definitely like private equity money that's buying up a shitload of real estate. Also, foreign markets are buying up a ton of real estate in America right now, holding on to it, and then just trying to make a shitload of money off jacking up prices for rent, flipping them for even more money to their richer friends. Like it is a problem. There's not enough affordable housing in America, and it's going to get worse.
Well, honestly, the work from home thing, I think, is really going to help that problem, because the whole idea of a commutable distance. And I'm meeting like a bunch of people who are older than me who are buying their first houses, and because they only need to go into the office 2 or 3 times a week, they're much more willing to make a hour and a half, 2-hour commute when they can work from home the rest of the time. So the radius around big cities that are commutable distance has grown so much more. And that's not true for everybody, because a lot of people, still show up to work, get in front of a microphone, or, actually do manual labor. But
yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing it right now. I'm living in the Virginia suburbs and then commuting to New York twice a week, back and forth on Tuesdays, Thursdays. And then look at me. Not everybody is as fortunate as I am to be able to do a podcast inside the Washington Commanders practice bubble. So and maybe we just need to bring more. We need to build more practice bubbles across America so that people can host their podcasts in them.
But for example, like a place like Poughkeepsie, New York, or Kingston, New York might end up being a commutable suburb to New York City, and all the property values out there is less because they're farther from New York City, but those places are going to get bought, developed, and you're going to have affordable housing there, and then the commute is going to be a lot less of a stress on your day-to-day. So people find it worth it to, live out there.
There's a lot of land that people don't live on yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's
the problem with that is it's getting bought up by people too. It's getting bought up by investors that are just going to hold on to it, and they're not going to build something for the people on it. They're not going to build neighborhoods with affordable housing. Real estate developers are going to always look to make more money.
But people
are going to have fewer and fewer options, is all I'm saying.
You can get a huge government subsidy for developing affordable housing, especially in New York, in like places like, that have those types
Yonkers.
Yeah. So by doing that, you're going to be able to, you're going to have affordable housing on those areas that are commutable.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. One of my favorite things to do is just look at random cities or random suburbs across America and see how much house you could afford to live in given what you pay for rent.
There's a place in Nebraska that's giving away free plots of land that have electric and utilities on the street that you can plug into. Like right now, we could apply for one of those plots of land, go take a tent or even an RV out there and just start living on it and build our own house. That I'm half-assed sometimes thinking about that.
That goes back to the whole sales technique where if somebody is giving me land for free somewhere, I'm like, I don't know. I'd rather pay for it.
I mean,
like you're coming on a little strong right now, Nebraska.
Well, no,
have some respect for yourself.
It's a town in Nebraska. I mean, they just have a very low birth rate. Like nobody's like, not many people are moving to the town because, the jobs left in some regards, but with like remote work, I could hypothetically, zoom in like we're doing now and live in Nebraska with the same salary, very low property tax, and live like an absolute king.
You know what they should do if they're facing like a dwindling population? It's the same thing that they do with like online dating apps. They should just pay attractive women to move there and just live there. As long as you live in that house for like 300 days out of a year, you get paid $50,000 a year just to be in that city. Because if you get attractive women to live in your city, then people are going to move there. That's just how it goes.
Well, in reality, they should. I mean, I'm not like against migration. I'm not anti-migration, but that's a huge role that immigrants play in this country, is like, keeping the population at a good amount. Like, do I believe, what's happening at the southern border is correct because it's incentivizing a lot of people to get into bad situations by trying to get to America, and we should have better pathways? Yes. But like people like that, those plots in Nebraska would definitely help the country if, people who want a better life from other countries go and live there.
You know what I realized, and maybe this is because I grew up in Northern Virginia in an area that was it was like 50%. I think it still is about 50% Hispanic, and by that I mean like Salvadorian and Bolivian, Peruvian, not Mexican. It's more like Central and South American countries, and the people that immigrate over here, a lot of them immigrated illegally. They were the ones that were working the construction jobs, all the jobs that nobody else wanted. It's really not that different for communities like that. The way that people from South and Central America are like discriminated against, it's really no different than what the Irish and Italians went through
100%.
100 years ago, 200 years ago, when they were the nationality people that were already in America didn't want here, but they were the ones that were building everything. It's kind of the same thing that's been happening to a certain extent.
Oh, 100. And if you
where
look,
it's just like the new class that's coming in, the established class of people, they don't want them.
well, I think it's just an anti-Catholic bias. If you look,
Good
no,
point.
I'm kidding, but
No, good point, Billy. What do all three of those cultures have in common?
just think about it.
Reverence for the Virgin Mary.
But it's more, what more concerns me, and this is probably just like a news story, like the 100 Chinese nationals like that are coming over the border, like because it's such a porous border. That's probably like fear tactics by Fox News, but like what the hell? How did they end up in Mexico to try to get into the U.S.? And it's just like a bunch of military-aged men coming through our southern border. Like that's never really been a good sign. Like
I've not heard that news.
yeah.
So I just want to hear what I'm hearing straight. There's Chinese men coming from the southern border.
Is this like the
is that what I heard
secret
right?
Chinese police presence in New York City?
I mean,
Arian,
that was
genuinely don't
real.
know anything about this.
I have no clue what we're talking about.
Military-aged men was the key term there. I love that phrase. It's like we could say that this podcast is predominantly hosted by military-aged men. It sounds so much more sinister when you say that.
I'm cut off. I'm done. They're gonna take Billy before they take me.
Um,
So did I hear that correctly, Billy? There was 100 Chinese military-aged men crossing the Mexican border.
I don't know. I just think that's more of a national security risk because we can't vet all of them. And let's say they're like literally working for the Chinese government, trying to like get all of our secrets. Look, I'm not, this isn't xenophobic. This is like if they were Russian, like there could be Russians coming over the Mexican border.
You know how much I love Russians.
I don't like Russians. I don't like
I
Russians.
think you do.
No, I like Russia. I don't like the Russian government. Russian people are fine. I don't like Chinese. I don't like the Chinese government. I love
Billy's
China.
Story arc.
China.
If you follow Billy's story arc, you could see him slowly sliding right, and it's fascinating. He's in the pipeline.
I'm not in the pipeline.
Do your thing. I'm not here to judge. Do your thing.
I'm just-
but it's very, it's slowly.
No, but like, let's say there's Russian nationals coming over the southern border because they know it's a weakness of ours and like infiltrating our country and military apparatus to try like figure out how to stop the war. In Ukraine.
that
build a wall.
that exact thing has been happening for the last. Oh, it's called the Cold War,
Yeah.
where they would get Russians in America that would then funnel stuff back to their home country. That's been happening for. I don't think that they need a southern border to sneak across. They've been pretty good at getting people here through legal means and then having them do illicit activities. But maybe Billy's right. Maybe there's 100 Chinese people that made their way to El Paso.
Military-aged Chinese people, Chinese men.
Yeah,
I'm not discounting the story. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I just saw this
It's
footage.
just funny seeing your arc.
but
Like,
but
but
also
the thing
let's
is, if you-
acknowledge what Billy said, which Billy said that he doesn't have a problem
I
with
don't.
Chinese people. He
Not
doesn't
at
have
all.
a problem with Russian people.
it's
He's
their
got a problem with their
governments.
government.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
That's a healthy way to look at it.
that's all I'm saying.
Hell yeah. That's all I'm saying. I'm a fan of your arc.
It's not an arc, dude.
It's definitely an arc.
I just
You know what I would like to do? I would like to they had this extension that you could download on Twitter for a while where you could see like who various celebrities followed on Twitter, where your timeline would just become their timeline. So you get to like look at Twitter through the eyes of either
That's
Shaq
wild.
or
That's
Trump.
actually wild.
I would like to see Billy's timeline. If you took out everybody that worked at Barstool that he follows.
No, I follow some
But-
cool stuff that isn't political.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, including the animal fights videos, all that stuff. I would like to see Twitter through the eyes of Billy Football.
No, it's pretty. Actually, my
Just
For
watch-
You page
Just watch
has
Joe
gotten,
Rogan.
my For You page has gotten pretty.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Oh no, you know what? Remember we were talking about that homeless guy that got shot? That was on everybody's For You page.
I don't even look at my For You.
Do you remember that video that came out of St. Louis of a guy just getting shot in the head, a homeless guy?
I did not see that.
That was
No.
on a lot of people's For You pages.
Wait, time out. You actively go on your For You page?
Well, I accidentally end up there
On
because
TikTok or Twitter?
Twitter.
I'm more concerned about Twitter, but like on any platform.
No, but remember we talked about how the For You page, like we were seeing like fucked up videos.
My For You page on Twitter is great.
I love my For You page on Twitter.
It's
Actually,
just
now
Braves and Tennessee reporters.
We were talking about this. We've had this
I love
exact
it.
same
That's-
conversation.
That's how you should experience Twitter.
Oh, it's
Just through
perfect.
the eyes
And
of
it's
Big
guys
T.
that like I don't want to follow because I don't want everything all day clogging my feed. But when I go over there, I know that's what I'm getting, so it's perfect.
I have yet to even click on my For You page. I refuse.
it's actually not that bad once you
I-
kind of curate it.
Well, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like they gonna feed you what they think you what you like, and so I'm not interested in whatever algorithm at Twitter feels like I need to be interested in.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a cog.
In my personal experience, they nail it. So you may want to give it a chance.
That was back when
Okay.
Twitter was like trying to whatever like videos got the most visceral reactions got like on the For You page. We had this conversation. There was a good consensus that like yeah, there's crazy videos on the For You page.
Yeah, there
We did.
there definitely were like crazy
Yeah.
fight videos and violent videos and
Yeah.
stuff. I did not see the guy in St. Louis getting shot in the head, fortunately. I will say this. I just went to my For You page right now. I haven't been there in a while. First thing comes up, Miley Cyrus.
Bonk.
Jaded music video out now. And then right
Bonk.
after that, macrodosing in some areas in Brazil, police ride water buffaloes. Good tweet, Billy.
Thank you.
Let me see my For You page. I
They're
haven't clicked on
mounted
this.
police on water buffalo.
Okay, the first one that pops up is a guy by the name of FD Signifier. He's a leftist YouTube video essayist.
Sounds like they got you down pretty good, I reckon.
I love video essays on YouTube.
And then macrodosing, we're committed to the Wyoming. Oh, y'all just let this off.
Yeah.
yeah, that's just like me right now.
Some woman pouring chocolate into a cup. Chocolate,
Oh,
like Hershey's
I've been
chocolate.
seeing those videos.
I don't.
There's like these weird videos of these two girls like really aggressively making large cups of coffee,
Yeah.
and they're just like looking pissed off as fuck.
And some guy by the
Respect.
name of 8-Bit Idiot says Johnny Depp sucked so fucking hard during the court case. I actually believe that fucker. But then you find out all the shit was suppressed and you realize the guy is a goddamn psycho. I literally have not searched or thought about Johnny Depp maybe in 2 years. It's taken 3 days to get halfway through the Avatar sequel. Come on, Mike. Cut the shit, Mike.
It was
Yeah,
long.
And my brother
It was good.
saw baseball games.
It's not anymore.
That's true.
I can barely get through a chicken
There was
bucket.
the Braves had a game. The Braves had a game the other night. There were 12 runs scored and like 25 hits, and it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was crazy.
Yo, should we? I think we should, because I'm not well enough in the baseball, scene to like start this shit. But y'all should start this shit. Start like protesting games until they cut that shit out. Because I haven't seen a fan that likes it. I haven't seen.
Oh
one.
no
I
no
could
no!
be with my brother.
Everyone loves it.
I like
No,
it.
They
Yeah.
like it.
Wait, the
I
pitch
like
clock.
it.
Overwhelming majority.
Wait,
yeah.
the pitch clock.
What?
Wait, what's not
Yes.
to like? I don't get it.
Dude, the pitch clock sucks.
No, but only if you're there.
You're
Yeah.
saying this because you want longer time to drink alcohol.
No, I like eating. I like experiencing the
It's
day.
true.
At the
Yes,
ballpark.
I have
It's
said
supposed
going.
to be a day at the ball game, not 2 short hours
Well, you-
rushed out. Like
you can go beforehand.
It's no
Here, the stadiums here suck for that actually, but
N-
I do dislike it in person because it's so much shorter, but on TV, if you're watching on TV every single night, it's great.
Okay, well that's
the correct take.
Because I don't watch baseball on TV.
Right.
So that's what it is. My only experience in baseball games is live, and it just feels like you just show up and then it's over. It's like so quick.
Yeah.
And my previous experience with baseball games going to was just it's the greatest sporting event to go to, in my opinion. It's so fun.
I went to a double header earlier this year. They played 2 games back to back. Even with the 45 minutes between them, it was probably only like 5 hours.
I love
double
that.
headers.
Like I
If games
I
get like
love
rained
that.
out and stuff, they have to make them up.
yeah.
I need to do a double header.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Actually,
Yeah.
I might just start. But is that more expensive?
There's sometimes they'll do you have to leave and come back with a separate ticket, but this one was one admission. You can stay.
So one thing.
Imagine if the NFL played a doubleheader.
Oh my god.
How electric would that
That's
be?
just dangerous.
be-
That's just
yeah.
dangerous, dude.
That would hurt, man. I don't know.
That's dangerous.
That would hurt.
And
That would hurt, bro. Hell no.
That's just so
Yeah.
dangerous.
I think so. Big T and Billy and Aaron, you guys have the correct take, which is if you go for a single game, then the pitch clock kind of sucks because it feels like it's pushing you out of the ballpark too soon. But if it's a double header, being able to watch 2 games in 5.5 hours is awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
true, but there's not how many double headers are there a year? Are there a lot? I don't know.
Most teams will end up playing 2 or 3 or 4 just because if games get rained out and stuff.
Yeah, it's more of a weather thing.
They used to schedule them a long time ago.
In Yankee Stadium, they put in Uber Eats.
I used it this weekend.
So that's the only, I think, unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, it's just something, it's how you got to adjust the shorter games. Next time I go, because a lot of people tell me, look, they've started to do in-seat delivery for food and drinks, and that's how they've been really trying to substitute the in-game experience for the pitch clock. So that's kind of what you got to do. It's more expensive, and hopefully ticket prices go down a little because of that, but you just have to order all the food to your seat. But they also sometimes don't have the specialty food like the steak sandwich in left field, or like the nice Italian sausage. So like it's only like a couple things.
I got a chicken bucket Friday at the Yankees game, and I did the Uber Eats pickup, so I just don't have to wait in the line.
Oh.
And so it tells you what section it's in, and then I ordered it on Uber Eats, and then I just went and picked it up, and then I literally just like skipped the line.
The only thing,
And I love a
a
chicken bucket.
The only thing they haven't figured out is the bathroom situation. So until they put like some sort of catheter type thing at the seat, so I don't have to get up to
What?
pee, then they would have solved all the problems with the pitch clock.
Yeah, there's no Uber Eats for taking a piss.
Yeah.
Yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there is an invention out there. I don't know if it still exists, but it was a thing back when I was in college. I never used it, but we would always talk about maybe getting one. It's called the Stadium Pal, and it's just it's just like a little kind of condom thing that goes over your wiener, and then it's got a tube at the end that connects to like an IV bag or a catheter bag that you strap to your leg. Yeah, Camelback. So you can just sit there and not get up and piss onto your leg for the duration of the game.
What if you've got a particular how big is it? I mean, because you're not looking at
Come on,
it.
we don't
You're not
size
it.
looking at it.
Sizes?
No, not for your dick. How big is the bag?
Like, how much can it fit?
Because you're not looking at it while you're pissing. So you
An
could,
aquarium size.
3 gallons.
10 gallons.
Yeah.
Aquarium
You're playing a
size.
dangerous game
Yeah.
if you're guessing how full it is. I got the Magnum Stadium Pal.
Right.
I don't know what size you guys would get,
I need the.
but
I would.
it's
I piss a lot at games.
I
Like,
bet you do.
Oh,
That's-
I never do. It's just
I've
not
always
worth it.
been really like I could hold it if I have to, like unless it's just a dire need. But usually I'll be good. I never.
I'll be
understood-
honest with you guys. Getting older, you see a difference. I don't know if you see a difference yet, Arian, but I definitely have to pee more.
My difference comes at night. So like at night, it hasn't been happening lately actually. But I used to have a little like pee bottle, like by my bed, because it'll be like 2 a.m. and I had to get up, and there's nothing worse in my opinion than getting up having to pee in the middle of the night. I hate it. So I just got a pee bottle, roll over, pee, go back to sleep.
You are too rich for that.
It's true.
I was gonna
But I
say
still
you
do
should
it.
you should get a urinal put into your bedroom.
I've even left
that's
piss
too much.
jugs. Left piss
That'd be
jugs at
nasty.
college.
I have a urinal in my bathroom. It's like right here.
That's dope.
Well, you have bottles of piss just sitting out in the open air on your
I'm
bedside
not a
table. Is
fucking
that-
heathen, bro. It's a it's a piss bottle, and I cleaned it out. I haven't done it since my remodel actually.
Wait,
but-
you reuse it?
yeah, you wash it out.
Okay.
You don't get a new one every time.
Yeah, you wash it out. It's just urine, sterile, and I like the taste.
Oh no.
You got to change it out.
You are also rich enough to not
Actually-
have to reuse the piss bottle.
As I work through this, I don't know if it's better to have one or multiple.
No, you want to have multiple. You want to have the gallon jug that you drink all day, then you pee in, and then you throw out, and then you get the new piss jug.
Oh no, this is an actual pee bottle that's for that.
Oh,
Like it's made
Oh.
for that. You thought I
It's
was
not
just
like-
pissing in a Dasani bottle?
Yeah.
No, no. It's made for that.
You have a bedpan.
It's like a little plastic joint with a handle, and it's bent. You know.
Oh,
so
you have a
that's-
real.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a water bottle.
No, that's weird. So I just had like, have you ever seen Signs with Mel Gibson? Just made bottles of water just
Yeah.
all over the house.
but honestly,
It's like that with piss.
I wouldn't let the whole peeing thing actually distract me from going to a game, because you know what makes going to the game like the easiest and most convenient thing ever?
Oh, I used it this weekend.
Tell us, Billy.
Game Time.
Yeah.
Created by fans for fans. Game Time is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. My mic just went out. Oh, it's back.
Sorry.
Uh,
I don't know how that happened.
Madeline, you used Game Time this weekend?
I did. I used Game Time to go to the Yankees game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I bought 'em day of. It was cheap.
That's
I was looking today. This is partly because they're a joke of a franchise and so bad.
Hey,
But on Game Time, you can go to the New York Mets game tonight for
Oh,
$1 US.
no
Are you kidding?
way.
That's serious.
That actually might be worth it.
You can do
I-
it. It's on there.
It'll cost you more to get on the subway there.
I
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
Triple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used when I went to the Yankees earlier this season, I used Game Time. PFT, have you used Game Time recently?
I have not used Game. I bought tickets. I want to say 5 months ago on Game Time for a concert in New York, and I completely forgot about it. And it was like 2 weeks ago, and so I got down to the last minute, and I was like, I can't go to the show because I'm not going to be in New York when it happens. But I found a friend, and I transferred my ticket to them with Game Time.
Easy as that. It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. The purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds. And once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text, like PFT said, so you can get into the game seamlessly. Skip the hassle and enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code MACRO, MACRO, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Terms apply.
Good ad read, Billy. Seamless. That's beautiful. Beautiful
Appreciate
integration of the ad right there. We are going to get to some Hollow Earth discussion today, and I'm excited to talk about it. I've done some research, Billy. And Arian, actually, you threw this topic out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah. So we're gonna get into it. Before we do, though, Billy, I had a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Because you brought it up a little bit yesterday on Part of My Take. I'd like to hear you expand on it because your blog was published. Also, I should have said this at the top. If you're watching on YouTube, I am in the Washington Commanders practice facility today. Shout out to the team. They were nice enough to let me come over and use their Wi-Fi. There were some issues going on with the Wi-Fi at my mom's place, so just hop right over here. The Commanders are awesome. I'm very excited to be fully blooded back in on Washington football, even though I did root for them, as hard as I could for the last 25 years. There was a certain element that made it difficult sometimes. Now I'm all the way back, and the Commanders are awesome. So shout out to them. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you see the Commanders sign right over there on the bubble. You see that goalpost that I just touched because I still got bunnies. So shout out to them.
Did you there's rumors that you are now a partial owner of the Commanders, but you just don't want to publicize it. That's why you're allowed to use the facility.
I can't confirm nor deny that. I can't.
You can't, look, I won't confirm or deny it either. Just there's rumors.
I
It's a
actually,
reply guy,
I actually
reply
don't
guy.
know. I actually don't know who owns the team right now. We're in like a weird middle ground where it's Schrodinger's cat of teams.
It's an escrow.
I don't know. It could be like this might be international waters right now. You might
Wait.
be able to just go squat.
Yeah,
I'm
title.
squatting right now.
Yeah, you might be able to get title. You just go
think
there
I
and
owned-
claim the title.
I need to get into that sovereign citizen shit.
Oh my God, that's the funniest shit in the world.
Just start running around the field saying, I own this team, I own the title. And then if they don't have title insurance, that means you could actually get a claim to it.
I own this team. I own this bubble. Do I have to pee? Do I have to mark my territory?
Yes.
That's gonna get you kicked out.
That will get me kicked out. No, but shout out to the Commanders. They've been very helpful today. So very, very thankful that they're hooking it up right now. But Billy, you wrote a blog. Congratulations. And
I write a lot of blogs,
You're-
just a lot of them don't get posted. And this one wouldn't
Okay.
have gotten
Well,
posted if so I had this story like 2 days ago and I was working on it. And then, so the reason why the Reddit post got taken down wasn't because JP Morgan Chase took it down. Business Insider actually took it down because they didn't want anybody else to get the scoop. So
wait, so the Reddit post got taken down by Business Insider?
yeah, to get the scoop first. So then yesterday.
How do you know that happened?
Just some rumblings amongst the moderators of the because basically a random moderator to the group took it down. But anyway, they released their article on it, and I had the article before them, and you can tell because I said it on part of my take, but my article wasn't posted yet. But because everyone was like, oh, Billy's going off about some crazy AI shit that's not real, he's like sounding the alarm, they got the scoop faster because no one actually believed me. And then I was like, guys, Business Insider just posted it, and then mine got up, but I had it much earlier. Basically, so JP Morgan Chase is monitoring all of its employees. I got a couple DMs about it before the Reddit post. So once I saw all of it, I was like, okay, it's corroborating. And here's the DM from one dude. That DM me said, so I'm at JP Morgan and keep me anonymous, but I've accidentally came across the data and it is scary, some of the shit that this stuff can report. Reports of people doing cocaine late on a Friday night while they were in front of their work computer finishing up, like complete invasion of people's privacy in their life. So yes, investment bankers, a lot of them do cocaine, but they're getting recorded after like, oh, I just finished my work day. It's, 10:30 p.m. on a Friday and ripping a line, and it's getting reported to JP Morgan Chase because they've tapped their computers even when they're turned off and they don't think their microphone or their cameras are on. A couple of other stories. And the craziest part is that all of the cameras in the office are tracking body language, your eye tracking, and literally collecting all this data to determine like the moods of employees and then reporting it to managers. If like someone's having a bad day or like being lazy, they can report it to a manager, and a manager could then check in on the person even when they're at home in the office, but they're just collecting so many data points on inefficient work. And then they're ranking all the workers, determining on how much they work and their productivity, and they rank them, and they say that they're not supposed to use it for any employment status, but it's out there for managers to see. Like, you guys is like that's like crazy that corporations are now able to abuse their workers' privacy and like basically control their whole life through AI.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks. But I also wouldn't expect anything less from like a bank, because they're all about the bottom line. I actually would say, if I'm an investor in JP Morgan, I would not want the people that are spending all their time on their work computer to be employed at JP Morgan Chase. I want guys out in the field closing deals. I want people taking clients out to 3 martini lunches, doing coke on Wall Street in some seedy basement with a secret handshake to get into. That's the guy that I want closing deals for me. I don't want a nerd that's just on their computer lab, their office issued laptop all day.
I don't think that even happens anymore.
No, it does.
I think like with like much higher ups, but they're not the ones who are getting
I think-
monitored.
Yeah, no, that sucks. And I don't know, just don't work for an employer that does that.
Well, the thing is, Amazon's been doing it with their warehouse workers, like, biological breaks, I think it was called. Biological function breaks are to be less than like 5 minutes, and like tracking, like if you don't scan, like even with their delivery people when driving, they track their eyes and track if they like, look at something on the side of the road, they count that as bad driving, which happens and is technically bad driving if you're not like focusing on the road, but like that's pretty intrusive.
That's not a bad driver.
Right, exactly. It's not a bad driver, but they're like docking pay for people
It
like
was.
looking like off to the side for a second while driving, like an
All right,
It's
Amazon.
almost as if these
are they-
major corporations need to be regulated
Well, I think their use of AI, yeah.
and taxed.
I think there's some serious antitrust that could be applied to many of these corporations, but the lobbyists have bought out all the people who would enact antitrust laws.
Okay, come back over
Sounds-
to the dark side, Billy.
No, this isn't dark
Sounds
side.
like-
This isn't free
sounds
market.
like sounds like Billy's arguing very strongly in favor of having strong trade unions.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been. I think there needs to be better antitrust, and because the thing is, when Amazon owns the majority of the distribution networks, when it comes down to e-commerce, I mean that's not a free market. That's not.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
He's almost there. It's just so funny.
but if they broke
is this
up
part of the arc?
Amazon, right?
Arian?
No,
if
this is part of the delusion of the arc, where you're so for free market capitalism and you're so for free markets and freedom in general that you realize the end of capitalism is exactly what's happening. Complete monopoly. It's the only logical result.
Now, Billy, if they broke up an Amazon or a bunch of these big conglomerates, then all the different offshoots would start using AI because they would realize that it was making them more money and they were able to monitor their employees more efficiently, unless there was some sort of collective bargaining that took place at the employment level where you could make sure that employers were not allowed to do that. Right?
I do think that a lot of the freedoms that we thought the government might take away from us are now going to be, corporations through privatization are going to abuse those rights that we thought only an entity as large as the government could control.
Yeah. Interesting.
Fascinating conclusion.
So I think
I
we
saw
need to
Sam
crack down on
Sam
AI.
Altman. Sam Altman went in front of Congress and was like asking them to regulate AI in the future. If there's one group of people I don't trust to be able to regulate AI sufficiently, it's a bunch of 80-year-old dudes that are sitting there trying to even wrap their brains around what an email is.
I know. How the hell are these people living so long?
Adrenochrome.
baby blood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Psh, maybe
My
we
dog.
let's regulate that.
Yeah, regulate baby blood.
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
All right.
I thought COVID was supposed to take a lot of these people out. What?
Jesus Christ.
That was so harsh.
What?
What? I just want all the old people
I
to die.
almost like called you my dog's name, like based off of like a innate reaction.
What's your dog's name?
Rudy. But it,
Rudy. That's
Bad Rudy.
but like almost it was like when you like eat something off the counter, like you have to
That
stop
shit
it.
is fuck-
Like when your
that
parents
shit
call
is
you
fuck-
by their your
Yeah.
full name.
Like I had to,
William.
That's hilarious, dog.
I just
What a
heard
funny
it
thing.
had to stop someone.
No, Rudy. Oh my God, Rudy.
Rudy Billy. Close enough.
But did
That's Billy.
did
Yeah,
a
that's Billy
single?
when he
Well, actually,
crosses the line.
that's a good question though. Did any congressman die of COVID?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, didn't what's his name? see. I forget.
Someone in Congress?
Did anyone in like
Was it Congress?
in
I don't
Washington?
think so.
In
I
the
don't remember one.
Congress is both the House and the Senate, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, did anybody in the House?
Yeah.
Says
This
there's a
Texas
few.
Texas Republican died after he tested positive. Ron Wright, Louisiana Congressman-elect, dies from COVID.
Oh, so he was elect. He wasn't actually.
This one, Congressman Ron Wright, died at age 67 from COVID in February 8th, 2021.
Not Ron White, who
Have
is
you
a
guys-
great Texan.
Ron Wright.
Have you guys seen
Right.
Feinstein recently?
Oh yeah,
Whew.
rough.
But she's going to be regulating AI.
Yeah.
That woman. What, Billy?
I just
She
don't.
just gave a shrug like,
No, I was gonna get Rudied again.
Say it.
What?
Nothing.
You
No,
can't
I didn't
do
mean
that.
I didn't mean to
No.
be disrespectful to anyone who lost family members, but like,
But like what?
just like the median age of Congress is so high that you probably think that like the percentage wise of the rest of the population would be a little bit comparative to that group of people.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to
Don't
get
do
into
it.
the COVID thing.
Don't do it.
I'm not
That's
trying to
the
get into
power-
it. I'm not trying to get into it. I'm just like saying like
Oh,
that's just
but-
a statistical anomaly.
It isn't.
I think,
Just don't do it.
yeah. I mean,
I'm not.
there
my
are always
statement
going to be
isn't
old
political.
people in
I'm just like-
Congress because it's the power of name recognition. So if somebody just gets elected once, it's proportionally very, very difficult to defeat them.
yeah.
And there's a lot of corruption too. Like once you win, like you on, and there's powers that be that have an incentive to keep you in the seat if you keep voting the same way.
Is George Santos still a congressman?
He has not stepped down. He's been in like
Has he been in jail?
no. He's just been indicted. So what they did
Well, I
to-
think he went and like turned himself in and was arrested technically, but then he was immediately
did he pay
released.
bail?
I would
What was
assume
his
so.
bail?
Yes. I believe that's what happened.
George Santos bail. Because then we'll see how much money he has.
While you look that up,
$500,000 bond secured by 3 individuals.
that's
But
crazy.
you only got to pay like what 10% or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did y'all see this Harry and Meghan thing last night?
Of course.
I did. Yeah.
Who's Harry and Meghan?
The Royals. The Ginger
Oh.
Royal.
No.
So they supposedly got in a 2-hour long quote near catastrophic car chase in Manhattan, and apparently like it just didn't happen.
I think they just never really
A
rode
two-
in New York City traffic before.
A 2-hour-long car chase. What did that get them from Times Square to the Lincoln Tunnel?
Yeah, but it seems like it's probably cap.
They were in a car chase.
It was
That's what was
By paparazzi.
alleged, but it seems like it probably didn't happen. The NYPD says they have no record of that happening.
they were in a car chase. NYC taxi drivers just drive like that regularly.
I don't think we'll ever
There you
see like a media frenzy like that around celebrities anymore. Like there's too much content. People have so much access to the things that they enjoy. There's just nobody cares like that anymore.
There's so many more
Now, were there
celebrities.
some media members that were like taking pictures of them? Probably. Did that piss them off? Also, yes, probably. But then I read about that this morning, and I think they leaked the details to TMZ, right? Like Harry and Meghan leaked those details.
It seems that way, yeah. Here's
Now, maybe I'm missing something though, Big T. If you wanted to get paparazzi to stop chasing you everywhere, would you then leak stories to TMZ?
I don't think that was the goal. I think they're just attention whores.
Oh wait. So in an interview,
No, that's what I'm saying.
I think they love it.
Yeah.
This taxi driver made a statement. This is the Washington Post. Taxi driver, this Sukhcharn Singh said he picked up Harry, Meghan, an older black woman, and one security guard around 11 p.m. on Tuesday outside the New York City Police Department's 19th precinct. He said he drove them for a brief period during which it I don't think I would call it a chase. I never felt like I was in danger. It wasn't like a car chase in a movie. They were quiet and seemed scared, but it's New York. It's safe.
Yeah, so here's what it seems like happened. This says Harry and Meghan left the Ziegfeld ballroom with private security with them around 10 p.m. Police say the couple wanted to go back to where they were staying on the Upper East Side. Harry and Meghan didn't want paparazzi to know where they were going, so they drove around for an hour and 15 minutes with one NYPD vehicle escorting their vehicle. So they were just like circling because they didn't want people to know where they were. Then they went. The Sussexes were driven to the 19th precinct and stayed there for about 15 minutes while police helped get the pair get off the block, and they got into a different car. So they were just like trying to make sure that people didn't know where they were staying. And then they said it was a near catastrophic car chase.
They need to have body doubles. They need to get Carson Wentz in a tuxedo and then put him into like a duplicate SUV and then make the paparazzi figure out who's who.
In their defense, the taxi driver did say they were pursued by two vehicles, a black Honda Accord and a gray Honda CRV. They kept following us and were coming next to the car. They took pictures as we stopped and were filming us. So the guy driving didn't feel like the paparazzi were interfering with his ability to drive, but they were being followed.
But it doesn't
They're being
sound
followed by paparazzi.
like a catastrophic car chase.
I think
near
honestly,
catastrophic.
I mean,
think
in
he's probably
Harry's
just-
defense,
You could say anything's near
like,
catastrophic.
Harry's mother did
It's true.
die in a similar potential situation
Exactly.
with paparazzi, so he's definitely more sensitive to it. So I'd give him a
Is
break here.
Harry's Princess Diana's
Yes,
son?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and William.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, still
I would
not
probably
really-
also hate photographers if I was him.
Yeah, 'cause
exactly.
Yeah. The whole obsession is just, I know we've talked about it multiple times, but I just don't understand shit why anybody gives a fuck. Do those reporters get paid to follow them around?
for
Maybe that's-
pictures. If
Yeah,
they get
for
a
Yeah,
good
if you get
picture,
pictures, they sell them.
Okay.
whoever
well,
gets the
that's-
best picture.
It is just weird to complain about paparazzis to TMZ. It'd be like
Right.
if you complain about like vigilante justice on the subway and you called Phoenix Jones. You're like, hey man, you'll never believe what just happened to me. This needs to stop.
They're definitely trying to get sympathy, but I feel like if they wanted to, like, I think they have enough money between the both of them to just go live somewhere totally secluded in a self-sufficient, like,
Do they get funded by the state, or like do they have
Not
jobs,
anymore.
or how does?
I think they kind of don't have much money now because they left.
She
So-
has her own money.
they definitely have enough money to buy
How much?
to live.
PFT's
off the
richer
grid.
than her. She's like a D-list actress.
Yeah, probably, honestly.
They
Wait, so
that's why
What's her net
You
worth?
said they left. Who left?
Harry and Meghan like quit the royal family
Well,
basically
Harry did, I think.
and
Harry-
moved
how do you
to
quit?
Canada/America.
So
Hold on now. How you quit a family? I'm
they,
interested.
so
'cause
technically,
I might want
They
to pursue the
they
same.
quit the royal part,
the apparatus,
which includes their family.
the
They
apparatus.
renounced their throne.
Yes.
Well, the apparatus
much, yeah.
around the royal family is they have like kind of handlers and people who finance their actions, and basically,
Got boosters.
kind of
Yeah.
they have boosters, and basically, they do several events for the government that in turn end up like, they like open hospitals, they do all like the ceremonial stuff, and for those events they end up like a certain amount of stipend besides like they're basically trust funds they're getting from
Not by the state, but by these.
so the state
private-
pays them for doing their duties, their royal duties, which is technically their job, and they end up like getting competitive with each other because there's a lot of low class royals, not low class, like lower ranking
On the totem pole.
yeah. So like they're like Prince Andrew is like ranked lower than Prince Charles, the king, because he's the second brother. And like he's
Okay.
opening a hospital in North England, which isn't as prestigious as a hospital if he was like opening one in London. And basically that's their job per se, like doing ceremony. But Harry basically quit
So-
that and said, I don't want to do any ceremonies. I don't want any royal duties. I don't want, in turn, he gets no money from the royal family.
and they moved to New York.
And none of the perks.
No, they moved to
I think
California.
they live in Canada, but yeah, partly Canada, partly several places in America. But that's why they're doing every interview and book that they can because they're poor.
It says her net worth
well-
is 60 million. So it's
Oh
like
my
what?
ass!
So it's like what, a third of
Dude,
PFTs?
No chance. No.
Why are you so
chance.
convinced that they don't have any money? I'm
They
confused.
definitely have money.
Because I'm sure they have some,
Well,
but
think
they do
He's from
every.
the poor.
Well, she was a dog shit actress before she hitched her wagon to him. They do every interview opportunity they can. He wrote his book where he trashed his whole family. There's also a clip where they're talking to, I believe it's Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, and Harry's talking to him, and he's like, Meghan, she does voices and voiceover stuff. Like, if y'all are ever looking for someone in an animated movie, like, she can do it. They for sure.
Good husband. That's a good husband right there.
Trying to
That's a
network.
supportive husband.
Now I don't know the sides, right? But if I was to guess, like monarchists, people who want the monarchy to continue, would take your view, Big T, about trashing Harry and Meghan. Is it Harry and Meghan?
Yeah.
Is that am I correct in that assessment?
I mean, I guess, yeah,
Yes,
because
I
they
think
left
so.
the royal family, but I think.
They left the royal. Why are you so hard on them? I don't understand.
I think
they did what you probably would want, is to try to break that shit up.
Oh my God,
I don't care about it one way or another. I just think they seem kind of like losers, and they want attention at every single turn.
That's the thing. If
All right,
I had that
so
much
you
money,
kicked out the royal family, Big T. Hold on, okay. You picked.
I
out,
think
you kicked out the royal family.
They left.
And
They
now
were
you
not
gotta-
kicked out.
Okay, you leave the royal family again. You begging for 'em.
Supposedly because the attention is so overwhelming, and they can't take it anymore.
No, and Meghan was treated racist. People were racist towards Meghan in the family.
That's probably some truth to that. And so, but now what do you do for money though, Big T? You can't.
I don't
you
know.
Can't go just work a regular job. You go on book tours. You go like. I don't
Sure,
understand
and there's
why you
nothing
don't
wrong
fuck
with
them,
that.
dog.
That's great for them, but
Why you
they
banging on them.
because they're losers.
if you had his, there is
Well,
a
you ain't
way.
really
like
saying
this,
why,
they
though.
like they drive.
I want to get down to this because like they are anti-monarchists, just like you're an anti-monarchist, and like you don't fuck with them.
Because they drive home in a car and say they were in a near catastrophic car chase, and they,
That's a little more understandable. I think what you could be angry at them about is that they want to be left alone, and there are plenty of ways with as much money that they have to be left alone. Like, for example,
yeah, you could just stop. You
Yeah.
could just go away.
I could, if I like,
It's a very simple solution to their supposed
go,
problem.
Go buy a ranch in California that has access to all the amenities that you like living, restaurants, whatever. Have it, really secluded from everybody. You don't have to work. Just leave everybody alone. Like, work on a farm. Just raise your kids. Like, have them away from the spotlight. Live a quiet life. Like, how many American royalty, former athletes, former celebrities have lived quiet lives after being superstars and have able to stay out of the spotlight? A lot.
I think what Big T gets upset about is that they beg for sympathy. They
Yes.
essentially they're born into extreme privilege, and now they want people to feel bad for them because their privilege is making their lives hard.
Precisely.
And we're probably not helping the situation by, well, no, they brought it up. So like, people talk about them because of that.
I wouldn't have heard about it if y'all heard it.
All of their behavior is antithetical to their supposed goals.
Yeah. I mean, if
Okay, I got you.
Let's talk about Hollow Earth.
I was genuine.
okay, so the
Oh.
royal family may have came from the middle of the earth from a race of mole people.
Wait. Before you do that,
Okay,
I have
no, Billy's cooking.
Before-
you can't put up Billy's flame like that.
So the
Like
whole
gas is
royal
on.
blood thing might be because they might be descended from a race of people living in the middle of the earth.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
No, I'm
No.
joking. Actually, do you want to call it that? Like, there's actually
Is this
people
the
who
is this the reptilian?
Yep,
race?
they
Is
might
this
be the reptilians that live in the center of
Okay.
the earth.
Yeah,
No.
David.
Come
I-
on.
So should we call in
Let-
our guy because he said he's ready to go whenever?
Okay, can you give him 15 minutes?
Yeah.
and we'll set the table
Actually,
for him.
can we do it in like let me set the table of like the whole theory, and then when this guy gets on, you'll understand what he's saying because there's some crazy.
Not talking about this
Shit.
dude we about to bring on. That is
He's an expert.
He's on
he's
Billy's
a hot-
list, so I wore the.
he an actual Hollow Earth guy or is
Yes.
he just knowledgeable about the situation?
Yes.
He believes this shit is real.
This guy has messaged me since the start of the
Okay.
show that we need to talk about Hollow Earth, and every time I bring up a little bit of Hollow Earth, he's like, "Yes, thank you so much for talking about the Hollow Earth." And
Okay, let's fucking go.
yeah. So strap in, everybody. No, Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth's an interesting phenomenon. I think this has anyone seen Saturday Night Live when
It's a phenomenon.
when Stefan is like, the newest club is this. It has everything.
Yeah.
The Hollow Earth is this. It is everything. Reptilians,
Mole
UFOs, mole people, royal
Nazis.
family, Nazis, Antarctica.
Located right below the Earth's crust.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the flat
So
Earth.
right
Dinosaurs.
right off the bat, I'll listen to a flat earther because it is kind of shady that we haven't been able to get to the center of the earth, right? We've gone out into the galaxy, we've explored the outer reaches of outer space, but we have not been able to drill
Hollow
down
Earth.
farther than what?
So,
Oh,
I
sorry,
actually
not
said
hollow.
Hollow
Did I
Earth.
say flat
No,
Earth?
no, this is actually
Fuck
really
me up.
interesting.
Okay.
This is really interesting to
Let me
conceptualize.
rewind that.
Wait, like, yeah, we've been able to go to space, but we haven't gone much of the Earth. Let me give you some statistics that really opens your eyes to how crazy the Earth is in comparison to what we've seen on Earth. So think about this.
Okay.
So if a lot of people have heard the myth that if you shrank the Earth down to a billiard-size pool ball, that the Earth would be smoother than a pool ball.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
kind of true, but it would be more equivalent to a 320 grit sandpaper. So not exactly smooth, but like a beat up pool ball.
Are you calling cap on Neil deGrasse
Okay.
Tyson?
Yeah, I actually am. I found the thing that debased everything you just said. Mount Everest would be about half the size of a grain of salt, 0.15 millimeters on a pool ball. If it was the scale of a bowling, So at the scale of a bowling ball, Mount Everest would be the size of half the size of a grain of salt. So think about that in comparison to what the Earth is. And now think about the oceans would be 1/3 the height of a grain of salt on the scale of a bowling ball. So think about that's how deep the ocean would be if the Earth was the size of a bowling ball. Like less than a film that your hands would barely get wet holding it. So if you put drops of water on a bowling ball, that's deeper than what the ocean is on our Earth's surface.
So yeah, it sounds like you're saying that Neil deGrasse Tyson's full of shit.
Yes. There's a lot of, like, in theory, he's right, but it's closer. Like, pool balls are literally, like, much smoother than a fine, like, equivalent. Like, it's more of like sandpaper.
But wait, Billy, what you just did, you used an object that's a bowling ball that's bigger than a pool ball, so we could understand how rough the bowling ball would be. What if you shrank that bowling ball down to the size of a cue ball?
Then it would be.
Would it or would it not be smoother than a cue ball?
It would-
Because it sounds like Neil might have 24 hours to respond.
Yeah, well, Neil can respond, but it would be around 320 grit sandpaper if it was pool ball size. If it was bowling ball size, it would probably be much rougher, and like half a grain of salt would be Mount Everest. So think about that would probably be the roughest part of putting your hand over it. But think about this. So that's how big the oceans are on a bowling ball. So now think about this. On that like tiny amount that we actually know exists, like less than 10% of the global ocean is mapped. So think of that whole bowling ball and that tiny film of water on top of it. We've only explored 10% of it, and only 35% has been mapped with modern methods. So think about that, about how much we know about this bowling ball is only, the landmass, which is, how much is the landmass of how much is Earth? Sorry.
How much does Earth cost?
No, I understand the concept.
It's just there's so
and
much
it's-
unexplored part of this bowling ball. And yes,
And when you think about like how the distances that we've traveled from Earth, and we still don't know, we still haven't been underneath the Earth's crust really, with the exception of like they have, I don't know if it's X-ray, MRI imaging, whatever the case may be. You can use different technology that we have to look inside the Earth, and that's how they figured out what the mantle is, what the core of the Earth is made out of, that sort of thing. We haven't been down there. You know how deep the biggest hole that we've ever dug is?
7.5 miles.
Yeah.
And think about this. The distance to the center of the Earth is 4,000 miles. So we've dug less than 1% of 1% into the Earth's crust. So there's a hell of a lot of Earth.
Wait. You said 4,000 miles?
7.5 divided by 4,000. Do that math.
That's not 1% of 1%.
It's 0.001. It's 1/10 of 1%. It's 1/10 of 1%.
Correct.
Of 1%.
So not
1/10 of
1% of 1%.
It's just
So
very little.
what's also weird is that we kind of gave up on trying to get down to the center of the Earth because it's been, 50 years since that hole has been dug? Maybe longer, maybe 60 years.
Or is there a reason?
It was funny because in the Cold War, there was like a inversion of the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, where we also tried to see who could dig the biggest hole. And the United States tried to dig one, and we gave up. I think we dug it actually off the coast of Mexico, and we went underneath the ocean there and then dug down something like 700 feet from the bottom of that part of the ocean. And then we just gave up. And then the Soviets did it. The Soviets have a giant hole that they dug. That's the one that we're talking about right now. That one is called the Kola Super Deep Borehole.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty deep hole, but really it's not anything compared to how far down it goes. So obviously in situations like this, when you dig down deep enough, then you start to hit like molten lava, molten sulfur, a lot of crazy shit. But we still haven't even tried to get down past that. We need to figure out, we need to send another team out there to just dig a giant hole. Just get a bunch of dudes with shovels and see how deep we can get it using today's technology.
Yeah, and thinking like what's nuts is there's heat at the center of the Earth. So if you didn't have access to sunlight, there still could be, thermal energy source underground. Like if you needed to, you could generate like electricity and live. Like there's life forms that didn't have genesis with the sun that live on our thermal vents underneath the ocean that have never seen the sun, and they literally developed as life forms that depended on the heat of the center of the Earth, which is very different than any other life form, because most life forms have some sort of connection to photosynthesis and depending on the sun.
We need to dig, man. We need to get back to digging.
Or maybe we don't, because we don't want to go down there, because there might be some crazy shit down there.
I want to know. I personally, I think that we should make a space force, but it's just for digging. Just dig some big holes. Come on, guys.
Yeah, some sand hogs. Get the sand hog. So the sand hogs were the guys that dug the New York City subways, and the sand hogs.
Doesn't Elon have a company, the Boring Company?
Yeah.
That specializes in this sort of thing? Why doesn't Elon just dig a giant hole?
So the hollow earth theory was actually pretty popular back in the day. There was a couple of guys pretty trustworthy guys that believed in the middle of the earth being hollow. So one of the first was John Cleves Sims Jr. He was an 1812 war general, and his theory described the world as consisting of 5 concentric spheres, kind of like a Russian doll, like how there's multiple inside each other.
Or a everlasting gobstopper?
Yes. With space in between them. And he visualized the Earth's crust as being approximately 1,000 miles thick, with an Arctic opening about 4,000 miles wide and an Antarctic opening. So he proposed that the curvature of the rim of these polar openings was gradual enough that it would be possible to actually enter the inner Earth without being aware of the transition. He argued that due to the centrifugal force of the Earth's rotation, the Earth would be flattened at the poles, leading to a vast passage into the inner Earth. His concept of polar openings connecting the Earth's surface to the inner Earth was to be his unique contribution to Hollow Earth lore. Such polar openings would become known as Sims holes in the literary Hollow Earths. So a lot of Hollow Earthers believe that there's a hole on the North Pole and the South Pole. That's the only way to get into the center of the Earth.
Say the word before forces that starts with a C again.
It's centrifugal. Centrifugal? I don't think
You close.
centrifugal. All right,
Yeah.
come on. I just read it. That was decent.
It was
Hold on,
That was
but
decent.
before that dude, if I'm not mistaken, there's a dude by the name of Edmund Halley. This was like in the 1600s.
Yes.
Edmund Halley was a dude that did figured out Halley's comet or
Mm,
predicted its return.
mm.
And I think Newton's involved in that story somehow, but I forget. But he was an astronomer, he was a mathematician, he was I think he was like an international spy. He like fucking did everything. And he thought the earth was hollow as well, and he like wrote a whole bunch of shit about it.
It is pretty wild. Ancient cultures also describe there being a hollow earth, and a lot of occultists. It gets a little weird how many, like, a lot of religions believe in the underworld. So that was supposed to be like, oh, the earth's hollow underneath the ground. There's another world that is under. So that hollow earthers count that as part of their like lore.
Body of evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a place called the Gate of Hell in Turkmenistan.
Yes.
Billy, I knew that you would be a Gate of Hell stan.
Yeah, they dug a hole and then it's just been on fire for years. I think it's I want to say a methane deposit.
Natural gas, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. If you look at the pictures of it, it does look like it's the most metal thing that you've ever seen.
Some hollow earthers think that we actually live in the center of the hollow earth and that it's actually like a halo ring, but like we're inside a sphere, and that
Yeah.
doesn't really make sense though.
Oh,
Now,
it does,
I'm
but
not-
Let's go.
I'm no Neil deGrasse Tyson, but if you were to send somebody down to the center of the earth, wouldn't the pressure be so severe on all sides that you would just combust? Your body would implode on itself?
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
So you know how when they send submarines down to the bottom of the ocean, when James Cameron feels like he needs to make another movie and he goes way down there, he's in that reinforced submarine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a tiny crack in the side of the submarine, the entire thing would just get squashed like a pancake because the pressure on all sides is so big. Because as you get further down, gravity pulls things together in a stronger and stronger force that's applied on it. So the weight of like a drop of water at the bottom of the Mariana Trench weighs way, way more than a drop of water if you're just standing in New York City, because the molecules are just condensed so much.
That's the water pressures too, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's gravity pulling the water in tight. I think that's what makes water pressure
It
increase.
could be. I don't know enough about
Thir-
water fluid.
every
dynamics.
30 feet is 1 atmosphere level of pressure, and water definitely exerts more pressure than air. I don't know how many atmospheres. Well, I guess the atmosphere is actually pretty small compared to the whole Earth, as we just talked about the oceans and everything being such a small film on top of the bowling ball that is Earth. So I guess if you go down there, you're a couple atmospheres deep and you will explode.
Yeah, but there's got to be a way where we can, using today's technology. I'm just pissed off that we haven't gone down further. That's all. We kind of gave up on digging.
Or did we find something that made us not want to go back? I'm just going to give my theory on the whole Hollow Earth thing, because there's a lot of crazy Hollow Earth stuff that doesn't really make that much sense. But the most rational Hollow Earthers, who are kind of wacky, think that like a lot of the UFOs we see, and Elon Musk actually said all the UFOs that we have footage of or encounters with, none of them have been spotted coming from space. But a lot of them have been spotted going into the ocean. So there's a lot of people who think that there may have been an ancient advanced civilization that is more advanced than us because they've been surviving longer, because instead of dealing with the surface of the earth that was, subject to tons of extinction events, be it meteorites during the dinosaurs, earthquakes, the Younger Dryas impact, which is another theory that may have been driven into the center of the earth. Some people think this is where Atlantis went, that the advanced civilization that lived on the surface of the earth had to retreat into the Earth's crust in order to save itself from exposure to extinction events. So Atlantis may have, gone underwater. Literally, they decided to make not an underwater city, but an underground city that was only accessible from the depths of the ocean. And that these UFOs might actually not be from another planet, but be from our own planet. That's what I was trying to express with the mouse in the house. That if you see a mouse in your house, do you think it's from another house or your own house?
That's a good point.
Guess what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like if you see a fly flying around your house, do you think, oh, that fly definitely came from my neighbor down the block's house, or is that fly just living in my own house?
Oh no, I was gonna say like if I see a mouse, if I owned a house that was like freestanding and had land around it,
Yeah,
and there was a mouse in there, I'd be like, oh, that mouse lives in my house.
exactly. So if we see this UFO flying around, do we think it's from another universe miles and miles away, or is it from our own planet that we know can sustain life?
Billy's making a lot of sense. Okay, we now welcome on a guest of Macrodosing, brought to you by Billy's List. He's a Billy's guy, and allegedly you are a hollow earther. I don't know if that's the right nomenclature. Hollow earth truther, anti solid core guy. I don't know what to call you, but it's Sweet Baby Ray. Thank you for joining us. First question right off the bat: are you actually a hollow earth guy, or did you pull a fast one on Billy?
Yes, I would say I am, and I think truther would be the correct term. I think there's a lot of validity to the theory, and that big government's just hiding it from us. They know the answers, and they won't tell us.
Wouldn't be the first
So
time.
how did you initially get interested in exploring the hollow earth theory?
Just seeing it on YouTube. I've always been big into aliens and shit like that, and it just came across my YouTube one day. That Diaries of Admiral Richard Byrd and his story, and that's really my main thing because it's a crazy story. It's obviously not accepted by the government. They don't say that it's like factually true, but that got me into it. And then I would just drunk DM Billy late at night for years about Hollow Earth because I was a big fan of the show. I figured he was the guy that could bring this to the people.
When the topic
that was
came up and we got the approval,
smart.
he was the first guy I contacted because
Yeah.
I knew he'd be well versed in the Hollow Earth lore.
So the diary of it's Richard Byrd, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about that. I now maybe I'm being force-fed misinformation from the government, but I've also heard that the diary where he talks about flying over the pole and seeing all the greenery and turning down into that and exploring. I've also heard that is it's dubious to prescribe that as being his actual diary, but I'll let you cook on it. Tell the people what you've read.
So I'm more of a YouTube guy. I don't have like facts, documents. I know you guys are big on that. And I'll just start with saying the government won't sign off on any of this stuff. So it's not facts. This is all just kind of what you believe. What I've heard from the story is Operation High Jump was in 1946, I believe. And the plan was to go to Antarctica, try to find bases for military operations. And he had gone to the North Pole before that, flown over it. And now he's in Antarctica flying over the South Pole. And he sees like an opening into Hollow Earth, allegedly. And he sees greenery, and then he is intercepted by flying discs. And then they take control of his aircraft. They take him down into the city, which he describes as a sparkling crystal city. And they introduce him to their leader, who's like some 14-foot tall dude. And he's basically just telling them, we've been observing you guys for a while. We're really concerned with the atomic bombs that are happening. We know what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And he says that we've tried to tell your leaders before not to do these things. And we're telling you to tell your leaders, this is bad for the planet. You guys need to stop doing that. And that's pretty much the whole thing.
Okay. All right. And so you are a believer that this was a real encounter that he had? How full of shit are you? I guess that's my question.
I believe it. I know it sounds dumb, but I tell all my friends, I say shit's real. I show them the YouTube videos, they all laugh at me, but I'm like, hey,
So
it makes sense.
the weird thing that trickles into the real world with actual factual documents is that Admiral Byrd's son was killed and found in an empty warehouse. And I'm sending you guys the New York Times article that documents this. And not only that, James Forrestal, who was the Secretary of the Navy, who was the overseer of Operation Paperclip, died mysteriously by suicide. And this was quite soon after the Navy returned on Operation Paperclip.
Was it Paperclip or High Jump?
No, High Jump.
Okay.
But there's also the whole other thing about speaking of Operation Paperclip, that they think that Operation High Jump may have been the actual end of World War II and trying to fight Nazis that had colonized the Antarctic. That's another crazy part of the whole thing, which I think is another dubious at best part of it. There's two theories that they found Nazis in Antarctica or they found aliens in Antarctica.
I'm more on the alien train. I don't know about the Nazis. I know the Nazis were trying to get to Antarctica, probably just for bases and same type thing. But yeah, I'm not really on the whole Nazis are hiding in Antarctica train.
Yeah, I think it's aliens.
Okay, so do you believe that the aliens that might be down there, are they from Earth? Are they an advanced civilization that lived on Earth before our modern civilization took over, or are they actually extraterrestrial from somewhere else?
I think that they are from Earth originally. I think that like all the UFOs that we're seeing are also originally from Earth. For example, the gimbal video, which is the one the Navy released a few years ago. It's the Tic Tac video. It shows the UFO coming out of the ocean, flying around, and then it just goes back into the ocean. And I think that kind of ties into Hollow Earth. There could be openings in the ocean, things like that. But I think that the aliens, the UFOs that we're seeing aren't necessarily from outer space. I think they are from our own planet.
So when you say Hollow Earth, do you think that the entire Earth is filled with either aliens or whatever the case may be, or is there just like underground and then you go down deeper and then the center of the Earth is actually like the molten lava, the solid core, all that stuff?
I don't think it's like the whole Earth is hollow. I think there's kind of layers to it, and they're living in a layer below us, but not that it's just like a completely empty planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So is it like with flat earthers where there's like divides in the community where some people think that there's a dome, some people think that there's no dome, some people disagree about how the sun travels around? Like, are some people in the hollow earth community, do they think that the entire earth is just hollow?
I don't know. I would imagine, like I said, as far as Hollow Earth community, it's just that I know of. It's just my friends that I show the videos to. Most of them think it's bullshit. A couple are like, yeah, makes sense. But I'm not really in with the whole community. I'm kind of more of a lone ranger on this front as far as I'm concerned.
Independent researcher. Yeah.
Independent
Big
researcher.
T.
So quick question,
Big
man.
T. I know. Yeah.
Oh, it's a quick question, real quick. So, are all celestial planets, stars hollow as well, or is it just Earth?
I don't know. I was doing a lot of research for this, and I came across a couple things saying that Mars might be hollow. I don't know about that. I would imagine not all of them, but I don't know. I'm more on the Earth is hollow train.
I got you. Okay, so following that line of logic, the reason why I ask is because I know flat earthers don't agree that this natural force is a thing. I would assume hollow earthers don't either, because the physics of Earth don't make sense if it's hollow. So like gravity plays a big role in why all celestial things are spherical, because gravity tends to pull mass together, and that's how you get spheres. And so hollow earth makes no sense if there is gravity in existence. Do you think that gravity is not a thing?
No, not at all. I know what you're saying. I'm not a geologist. I don't know the science behind it, but I know what you're talking about, how scientifically it doesn't work. Edmund Halley, the guy who named Halley's Comet, he was the first one to introduce the hollow earth theory. And then there was another scientist a couple hundred years later who disproved it with a gravity experiment, like one you're talking about. And I don't really have the answer to how it does work. It's just one of those having the faith things for me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like your explanation behind things is that the Earth isn't totally hollow, but there's just underground communities of people, or extraterrestrials, or aliens, or
Lizard
former
people.
civilizations, lizard people that live underneath, what we commonly refer to as the crust of the Earth.
I mean, maybe like think about it. What if there was a highly evolved group of dinosaurs that progressed with the ability to manipulate matter with like stuff that's kind of like hands, became highly intelligent. The, mass extinction event with the huge meteorite comes, they realize they have to retreat deeper and deeper underground in order to survive. They've then, progressed millions of years because there's no mass extinction events underground because they're safe there, and then progress to be a super advanced civilization that's been around for millions of years longer than humans and are able to live in not a hollow earth, but just like tunnel type structures or pockets that naturally occurred underneath that we just haven't explored yet, and get energy from the center of the earth, be it heat. That isn't that crazy because we literally haven't looked down there. I mean, think about it.
That might be the craziest sentence anybody's ever followed up by saying it's not that crazy.
I'm
It's
talking
not
about
that crazy.
a 3-minute monologue about some wildest shit you ever heard of. He goes, "That's not that crazy." All right, fam.
But
I do want to know what Big T's thinking though, because Big T's you're sitting there and you've definitely got some thoughts, and I just need to know what they are.
Well, Sweet Baby Ray, I guess, kind of answered my main question for the most part, which was, listen, at the beginning when you're like, the government's hiding this from us, they won't let us know. I'm on board, pal. Listen, wouldn't be the first. I just wanted to know, and I guess you kind of explained it with that story about like, I guess it goes to the same, like, they don't want us to know there's aliens, this, that, and the other. But like, why would they hide this from us? What does it accomplish? Because you could get me on board.
He's a
I
free
think the
agent.
biggest thing it would throw off is the church. It would go against the church's beliefs and what they've been telling people for thousands of years.
Listen,
And
pal, if the
obviously
government could dispel what the church is saying, they'd be first on it.
Good point. I'd say back to that, it's because they want us to stop doing nukes, and we're never going to stop doing that, building nukes. One more point I wanted to touch on was after the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was the most UFO times like ever. There's countless of American and Russian nuclear facilities who claim to see UFOs or just lights in the sky that would come over and shut down, de-arm their nukes just out of nowhere, and they had no explanation for it. So yeah, I think nukes is kind of why the government doesn't want us to know, and also just disturbing the peace thing.
Okay.
And also, if it was
So-
open knowledge that there was another civilization in Antarctica, a rogue state might try to attack them, and they're just trying to protect them and live in harmony with them.
Listen,
Because
I'm
we
not
can't
married
reach
to
them.
dense Earth.
Yeah. Porous
My
Earth.
boy.
Porous Earth. I think Hollow Earth.
So, in World War II, seeing these UFOs was a very common thing for pilots. That's definitely true. It was so common that they named them. Do you know what the name that pilots gave to these UFOs that would buzz around their aircraft were?
No,
They called them Foo Fighters. That's where the band got the name from.
really? That's cool.
Yeah, so it was a very common thing.
I'm actually I'm becoming a pilot right now. Part of that reason was I want to see some UFOs one day. I heard that pilots see a lot of
That's
UFOs. Can't talk about it. But
That's scary. Wait, you're becoming a pilot for like? Are you trying to fly just
like I'm in flight
recreationally?
school, not commercial.
Do they ask you any questions during
This just got so much
the
more
mental
interesting.
competency?
Yeah, fam. I don't wanna be on a plane to Japan and you wouldn't take a detour because you trying to see the hollow earth, bro.
Just see something flying by, see it with your own eyes.
Have they asked you any questions about those types of beliefs on the screening process?
Nah, so first class medical, the highest one, nothing about that. Just vision, hearing, things like that. Clean piss.
Now, if they asked you,
The clean piss is important.
do you believe that there's an underground race of reptilian people? What would you say in that screening?
This the FAA asking me?
Yeah.
I would say no. I say maybe, but nah.
I don't think they're actually
Never
reptilian.
know.
But like in Atlantis, an ancient civilization of humans, like retreating underground, because there are examples of ancient. Some of Randall Carlson's work on Göbekli Tepe and like stuff ending up being older than we actually think. Like Göbekli Tepe was a settlement with a large underground structure that could have housed 10,000 people at a time and livestock. I think it's, if you see the Ancient Apocalypse Netflix, I used to be much more skeptical of that, but like for the purpose of this show, like that gives good merit to their, being older civilizations than we thought, being able to have underground settlements. So those underground settlements progress faster because they're not affected by stuff that the surface throws at them, ends up getting more and more advanced, building more and more underground without any resistance. Hey, Hollow Earth.
It's not that crazy.
Not that crazy.
Right. See?
It's not that crazy.
So why do you think that we haven't gone back to Antarctica to look for these cracks in the earth yet?
That's a good question. I would think that we are currently in communications with these beings down there. I know like exploration is pretty restricted. You have to be approved by the government to do certain things in Antarctica, which is funny because you guys had the guy who walked across Antarctica and he said he didn't see anything. So that might put a hole in that theory. But I think that we are talking to them right now and they're just keeping it on the low.
That guy who walked across Antarctica may have, just been hitting the rim, just giving the hole at the bottom a little rim around.
Yeah, just
so
going around the whole
question.
Yeah.
More of a science question again. Explain to me the physics of why the people down there would be so tall. He said 14 feet.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one, but that's what he said. I don't know the physics behind that, but just having the faith, choosing to believe, and they have crystal cities that were glowing, things like that.
You think
So
that
is your belief in choosing to believe, does it come from like a I'm trying to figure out the origins of it, because I think you may believe it, but I don't think you're too serious about it, or am I wrong about that?
That's pretty accurate. I believe it. I'm not like dying, going out, pick it into everyone. Hollow Earth is real, not like that.
Right, but it's like something. It entertains you. So like, does it just come from like an entertainment standpoint, and you're like you like tickling that part of your brain where it's like, hey, it could be. Is that more?
Yeah, I like to tie it in with the whole alien idea because I'm pretty big into the alien idea, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Because obviously, like, we're not seeing it on satellites, UFOs coming in from outer space, or at least they're not showing it to us. And I think that them going into the ocean and like the gimbal video tying into that provides a lot of like support to the hollow earth theory.
I personally do think that we should try to dig. We should try to see what's under the crust. We gave up on that back in the 70s, and we haven't really tried again. I'd like to volunteer you to be on that exploratory committee. You and Billy,
Oh, no,
you
know
guys
what?
can go make a day of it.
Is this how the Malaysian flight went down? A commercial pilot searching for the hollow earth?
Ah, man, they were over the Pacific. We gotta go to the poles.
They took a left turn.
Yeah, so It is. He was going south. Yeah. It is fascinating to me to think about Antarctica because there's millions and millions and millions of years worth of ice that's contained at the poles, and so you could actually like go back in time if you dug deep enough at the center of Antarctica and see what all that ice is like at the bottom. It should give you an idea of what Earth was like before humans even existed. That'd be pretty cool to do. I think we should do that.
Yeah, along those lines, there's something called the Perry-Reese map. It was like drawn in 1513, which is before the first known exploration to Antarctica, and it shows the outline of Antarctica, what it would look like underneath the ice. And no one really knows how those were found. Just some ancient civilization stuff. Maybe it was the Hollow Earth people back in their day transferring the knowledge down, but yeah, just one of those cool things to think about.
Isn't this a key plot point in Alien versus Predator? They live underneath the
Yes.
South Pole.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of dots being connected right
Also,
now.
King Kong versus Godzilla, new canon, has Hollow Earth. Seems
That
to be the
movie
order.
does a great job of showing Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
In Black Panther
Mhm.
2 as well. I forget the dude's name. The Mexican superhero dude, the anti-hero.
I didn't see the second one, so
His whole people live under the water, and it's a beautiful civilization.
see, maybe it's Marvel spoon feeding it to us so that when the news breaks, we're not all shocked, you know?
Do you take that stance too? I know a lot of flat earthers do that shit. They'll say like the government or them or they put in hints all through our culture that this is actually the truth. Do you guys think that too?
To a degree, but at the same time, like Hollywood characterizes aliens as just gray people that look like us, which I guess maybe through that, I believe that aliens are like humanoid forms. But yeah, I do think that spoon feeding is a real thing.
I think we should use the term being instead of alien, because I don't think these
Good
are
point,
from
yes.
the out. If the alien always implies space or unknown.
It's just foreign.
Yeah,
So-
but I think this is definitely native to Earth. These beings, if they do exist in whatever's flying these craft, because the thing is, they showed all of Congress. You know, the Navy doesn't know what these things are, and we don't know where they're from. And I think there's a good chance that these beings are native to Earth, and they may be inhabiting places where humans couldn't get to them, and especially environmental disasters couldn't get to them. Be it, deep under the crust of the South Pole. I mean, that ice sheet is armor as good as any. So,
Do you think the 14-foot aliens could shut down Jokic?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah,
Lakers
so
need him.
Get that
That's
shit
crazy.
out of here.
Lakers
He's
need
playing
him.
out of his mind right now. I don't know, man.
I imagine they actually
what about-
invented basketball.
What?
What about lasers? Can we use lasers to cut through the bottom of Antarctica and figure out what the hell is going on down there?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, seems like they would work for that. I don't really know
Yeah.
where the laser technology is at right now.
I agree. I think we should look into it. All right. Anybody got any more questions for Sweet Baby Ray?
Appreciate you coming on.
What is Sweet Baby Ray?
It's
a barbecue sauce.
Barbecue
It's a
sauce.
bad
Sauce
barbecue
with
sauce.
Oh, the favorite
I didn't even
sauce
know.
of
Okay.
accused lizard person, Mark Zuckerberg.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
Have you ever met Mark
Shit.
Zuckerberg?
No, I haven't.
A lot of dots being connected
Yeah.
though.
Maybe
right
one
now.
day, yeah, maybe you send me here. I don't
That-
even know.
That's the brokest boy shit ever. Is that Mark Zuckerberg is like the richest person on earth almost, and he eats the $2.99 barbecue sauce that you get at Walmart.
That was
Hey,
was
that
one
sauce
of,
is good though. The sauce is the boss, man. That's the best sauce.
No, it's a bad barbecue
I like
sauce. It's a bad
Stubbs.
cue.
Hot
Yeah.
take. If you need barbecue sauce, the barbecue's trash.
There's some merit to that. That's spoken like a true Texan right there.
I hate barbecue sauce. Like when a brisket or something is cooked this perfection, it just melts in. You don't need sauce, bro.
What about on other stuff?
Mhm.
You need sauce when the meat is dry.
Doing a good pulled pork
Yeah.
does need sauce though.
Not if it's juicy and tender.
I agree with Billy on that one.
Yeah.
You want something to lube it up real
Like,
good. Mad Dog, do you have any questions for Sweet Baby Ray?
What do people think when you tell them this?
They just look at me crazy. Like, usually it's after a night out with the boys, and then especially if there's girls there, they think it's real
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
like-
Usually just show the boys.
Hell yeah.
You usually keep that one in the YouTube
Don't
depths. We don't bring that out for them quite yet.
What do you mention to women first? This or that you're in flight school?
I'll give you one guess.
Like,
Yes.
How many dates until you tell them
yeah,
about the
what's
flat
the
Earth?
protocol there? Like 5th date? Meeting the parents?
I haven't told a girl yet. Granted, longest relationship was like a year,
Oh,
but
weird.
I guess longer than that.
Have you brought it up to anybody and immediately been like, I should have just held on to that one for a little bit longer? Whether that's a boss, coworker.
Yeah, coworkers and kind of a boss, my instructor. Yeah, should have held on to that one.
So what's your icebreaker when you start to tell people? Like, what do you think? Hey, have you heard about that? How do you break that
So
down?
it's more just like an alien talk and a UFO talk at first. Let me say, hey,
Butter them
Hollow
up a
Earth,
little bit.
they might be from here, actually, not from space. And then we get into Hollow Earth, and then Admiral Richard Byrd, and then they're either with it or they're not.
I hope you find someone someday that entertains those thoughts as much as you do in a romantic partner.
Yeah, no, I hope you find a fellow Hollow Earther to go to the center of the earth with.
I want to say something in defense of Sweet Baby Ray. My understanding of this theory was just I didn't know about the alien stuff and all that. I find it only mildly more, if you believe in aliens and that they're coming from another planet, I find it only mildly more ridiculous that they would come from the center of the earth.
I think
Expectation.
No problem.
the Hollow Earth moniker, I think, is to discredit the very idea that there could be other beings living on this planet where we haven't looked yet, which I think is very plausible and not that crazy.
The term Hollow Earth discredits that.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's like
rephrase that.
it's like, oh, you think the whole Earth's hollow? That's stupid. But
Yeah.
I do think it could use a rebrand.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people co-tag it with flat earthers, which fuck that.
Yeah.
That's stupid. The Earth's round, but Hollow Earth totally different.
there's definitely some.
I want to meet
pushing-
a flat earther. I want to meet a flat earther pilot. See how that
There's
works
some out
out.
there, yeah.
There might, maybe the next flight that you're on, you should ask the pilot a couple leading questions before you sit down. But yeah, I think it does need a rebrand. I think Big T is right because it does imply that you think that if you punctured the Earth with a big enough drill, it would just pop like a balloon.
You guys
That's
have
not what
any
you're saying.
suggestions for the
Yeah,
rebrand? What should
we
we
should-
I've been
go with from
thinking.
here on out?
because I need a rebrand because it's something I think is real. So I need a better.
Leveled Earth. There's
Okay.
levels. Hollow Earth sounds so
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like level Earth.
Leveled Earth, staggered Earth.
Earth
Co-
featuring
Mhm.
Alien Center Taylor's version.
Cohabitators. The roommate theory. That
I don't like that.
yeah. that we're
Roommate theory?
that we're not alone. We're
I like
living with someone else. On
Leveled
this...
Earth.
Yeah, levels. I like that. Leveled Earth.
Levels to this shit.
Yeah. All right, Sweet Baby Ray. Thank you for joining us.
Sweet.
All
Thanks,
right.
man.
Good to
Let-
meet you, Sweet
All
Baby
right.
Ray.
Love you guys.
All right, Sweet Baby Ray.
You get.
Sweet Baby Ray.
He had a pretty rational take.
Yeah, I guess it's about as rational as it could be.
Well, it's like
It's like I'm not a kook. I just think that aliens live under Antarctica.
I'm not crazy.
It was
Yeah.
if the plausibility of the Earth being a balloon is 0, it is more plausible than that.
I think that I
Yep.
think that idea writes off the idea that there's proof that there's stuff flying around that we don't know what it is. Whatever's making those things is definitely some sort of beings because they move, whether they're biological beings in the UFO themselves. So where the hell are those things coming from? They have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think them living on the same planet as us is that crazy.
All right.
It's not that
It
crazy.
might not be. It might not be.
Yeah.
You might not be insane, Billy.
No, it's not that crazy at all.
All right. You guys want to do some voicemails?
Mhm.
Are you too busy to cook this May? Well, with Factor, you can skip the trip to the grocery store and you can skip the chopping, the prepping, and the cleaning up. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back outside and soak up the warmer weather. And if you're looking for calorie conscious options ahead of the summer, we all know we're going to do Labor Day abs. Try delicious dietitian approved calorie smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. If you need an extra boost of energy to support your wellness goals this spring, try Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. That's a lot of protein in one meal. I like that. We offer delicious flavor-packed options on the menu each week to fit a variety of lifestyles from keto to calorie smart, vegan plus, veggie, and protein plus. Prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians, each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long while still meeting your goals. And if you're looking to mix it up, you can add protein to select vegan and veggie meals each week. This May, get Factor and enjoy clean eating without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered right to your door. Ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/dosing50 and use code dosing50 to get 50% off your first box. That's an incredible savings. You get half off your meals. Go to factormeals.com/dosing50 and then use code dosing50, get 50% off your first box. Check it out. It's a great option if you're looking to stay in shape this summer or get in shape or get swole with all that protein. Factor Meals. Check it out. Okay, let's do some voicemails.
Okay, just 2 today. Also, I eat Factor all the time, and they're really good.
Keep that in.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
This is Ross from middle of nowhere, Georgia, and I've been a fan since like the beginning of the show, and especially Arian. I've been a fan of yours forever, and you kind of changed my perspective on like everything in life, and I truly think that you are just brilliant. But my question that I have is, what is your guys' favorite thing to argue about? And there's like you can have fun debating something, but I mean more of a argument where you feel that personal anger in you to get your point across, and you'll cut anyone off and be completely uncivil because someone has a opinion that you find bad and you completely disagree with. Thank you. Keep making the pod. Okay.
What's your favorite thing to argue about?
That's kind of how I argue anyway. Like, it's not like I get a lot of like DMs from people like on the show, like when I contend a point, like either Big T or Billy or something like that. Like, I just am a passionate human. Like, this is how, like, if you was to like come to like one of my family functions, right? When we get to like congregating with each other, this is how we talk. Like, so it's just like very like in your face, and like I would never do that to a stranger, right? I would argue cordially. But like if I argue with you like that, it means I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of that time that passion gets taken as like I'm coming out my, you know what I'm saying? Like, or I'm being disrespectful, or I'm just loud, or I've lost my, like, nah, that's just how I talk, like when I fuck with my people. And so it's like I'll do that shit with the card game, like if you like the family or whatever, like top 5. I say, to answer his question, top 5 rappers is probably a heated debate like that in my circles a lot. You'd be like, yo, that nigga trap, and you just kind of like get into it with that. So I would probably like say like top 5 rappers, but that's just how we kind of, from my experience with, you know, my people, like that's just how we that's how we bang.
Mine's easy. College football. I love arguing about college football. Like, there are other arguments I get in that like I'm like, why am I having this right now? But every time I argue with somebody about college football, I enjoy it, and I want to continue arguing about it.
Yeah, it's a fun argument too, because compared to other sports, even other college sports, there's so many different ways that you can go in college football. And the passion that everybody has for their own fan base and for their own team, people take it personally. You get crazy. Like, they are actually fanatics when it comes to college football. I don't think that people care as deeply. If you took like the most diehard University of Tennessee fan and then you took the most diehard, I don't know, Yankees fan and the most diehard Cowboys fan, and you compared all those together, the person who's the diehard University of Tennessee fan cares more about that program than the other do about their own teams.
For sure.
All right, Big T, I want to ask you this question. Who is the greatest college team of all time?
Team, individual, like one season.
One season.
It's either
One game,
was it 02 or 03 Miami when they had all those guys, or I mean honestly, like 2019 LSU just beat the piss out of everyone. Like nobody was close.
But that LSU team, I think, would beat the older teams just because of how football's evolved.
Yeah, I mean the offense was just insane. Probably those two. Maybe
Those are good answers.
yeah, I think those would be my top two.
There was that one USC team too that came right after Miami. That was pretty good.
2005, yeah.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, with the benefit of hindsight, who knows what we're gonna look back on in like 10 years? But these Georgia teams have been pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They
yeah.
don't have like the sexy appeal on offense like the other teams do. Like who's Benson?
Stetson Bennett.
He's like
yeah.
okay, you know, he's not like
They just-
But then again, even like the 05 team. Well, I thought Matt Leinart won the Heisman. Vince Young, that Texas team too.
Yeah.
2000
But-
was that 05 also or 06?
I want to say that's 06.
Because they played USC in the Rose
Maybe
Bowl.
even-
Those teams wouldn't be able to compete because Vince, like the whole running quarterback, is in his novel now, and I don't think they would be as effective. Their offense.
I don't think that's the case at all.
So, like, do you think they do well against the Georgia team? Like,
Well, in my experience, any running quarterback that's effective opens up your run game in an entirely different way. Vince Young is a big part of the reason why Chris Johnson ran for 2,000 yards. And if your run game is open and you're a threat and you can throw the ball, then your play action game opens up. It makes your defense account for way more than it has to. So would it be effective? Who's to say? But it would be more effective than the teams they faced.
See how these conversations are fun?
yeah.
and we're in the perfect May and June is the perfect time for it every year because there's just nothing going on in
Yeah.
college
It's
football.
about to get boring after basketball.
Yep,
too.
and
After
that's-
basketball,
No,
it's
then you start
boring.
going to baseball games.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is my new thing. So
Yeah.
I'll do that.
But yeah, in the college
when-
football calendar, like there's nothing going on right now. So any conversation about college football is just arguing about dumb shit, and it rocks.
But, like, I don't think
Right.
Vince Young would – I think teams nowadays would match up better against Vince Young's Texas team.
But there's no what?
Yeah, I think because
I don't think you remember Vince Young. How old were
I
you?
was 7, but
Yeah,
I watched his highlights.
Actually watched Vince. Yeah, I don't
like, I
think
think Cam Newton was a much better runner than Vince Young.
They were a little bit different
Yeah,
though as quarterbacks.
they were different. I wouldn't say. That's actually a pretty good. No, I would say Vince Young was a better runner. No, Vince Young was
I
way
don't
more
know.
shifty. He was faster.
Yeah.
Definitely faster. And he was more of a threat, I would say, through the air.
I would argue one of my favorite things to argue about is that the 2002 U.S. men's national team soccer team should have made the World Cup finals, and we got robbed out of it. That's the best team that the U.S. might ever have in soccer, and we got fucked by some dirty referees in the game against Germany, because if we had beaten Germany and there were some handballs that could have been goals that were not called, a lot of shit went down in that game. We should have beaten Germany in the quarterfinals. Then we would have played South Korea in the semifinals. We'd already beaten them earlier in the tournament. We could have beaten South Korea again, and then we would have been in the World Cup final against Brazil, who probably would have beaten us.
No, but we're
6-0.
I like to
Well, we
argue
s-
about how American
we still would have been
soccer is
second place.
stupid.
no, but we're
and
about
we
to be
shouldn't-
so nasty.
Yeah,
Balogun.
we are.
About to be. For those who
He's
don't follow
good.
soccer very closely, just wait 3 more years. We're about to be disgusting.
They said that
Yeah,
three
this-
more
I mean,
years last.
This new
No,
generation.
We just
Cup.
got
No,
we just got,
it didn't,
Yes,
Billy.
yes,
No, it
everyone
didn't.
was
people
like,
were
oh,
like, this
No,
team will
we
be
didn't.
good, and they were. They were solid. They
like
were.
we tied
I
England.
love how the question of
Bill-
what do you like to argue about turned into an argument. That shit is
Yeah,
fire.
Yeah.
no, but like,
Billy,
yeah,
Billy,
but remember,
you're wrong.
Remember,
Billy, you're wrong.
I
You
am
don't- you
right.
don't-
I am right.
you don't
I
know
remember the
anything
New
about
York
soccer
Post
because-
article when we tied England last World Cup, like before this one, the one
That
before.
also didn't happen.
Yes, the best tie since Bunker Hill, the original tie between
That
tying
was-
in English and pool play.
That was
That was like
tw-
that was
13 years ago.
2010.
Yeah, they were saying that wait till the next 4 years and we're gonna have a great team because we just tied England. They've been saying all these U.S. soccer people's like the trust the process Ponzi scheme. It's never gonna get good because we will never accelerate past the level that other like Europe's gonna progress because we can't catch up to them.
We were better than them in 2002 though. That's the thing. We were better than Germany, who finished second place, and we should have made the finals. And Billy, nobody was saying about this World Cup that we expected the U.S. team to be dominant or advance past where we got to because we were a very young team. The goal in this World Cup was like take these guys who are all 20 years old, 21 years old,
trust the
and
process.
just wait.
I'm
because
gonna
in
make-
the next World Cup afterwards. They're going to be.
It's
I'm
good.
going to
biggest-
make
it's a
Billy
Ponzi
watch
scheme.
Balogun. Is it the Nations League or Gold Cup that's coming up? Whichever one it is,
I don't
I'm
know.
going to make him watch that guy put a hat trick on Mexico.
We're not gonna beat that Swedish dude. Hollis, like there's crazy
Holland,
players.
he should
Yeah,
have 3 goals in this game right now, and somehow Courtois stopped all of them.
He's like a superhuman. He actually looks like he could be from the Hollow Earth.
Man City just scored again. As I
Yeah.
said that, by
Yeah.
the way, 3-0. We're going to the Champions League
But
final.
Billy, respectfully, you don't know shit about U.S. soccer.
I don't
You
because they keep sucking and I can't invest in them because everyone says, "Oh, this time," and they're like, "Oh, nope."
Well, next World Cup, that's the time
Okay.
that if we don't win, I'm gonna say 2 knockout stage games, it will be a disappointment.
Okay, so clip this.
We have to get to the semifinals.
clip the.
If we get to the semifinals, I think our team will be good enough to get us to the semi. And it also does depend on what group and what the matchups are on the second round. But we should have the talent to be one of the top 4 teams in a World Cup that we're hosting.
Okay.
That's the year.
Old takes exposed.
2002, though, we should have made it to the World Cup finals and we got fucked. So I like arguing that. I also like arguing about healthcare system in America. Like we should have healthcare should be free. And it's been proven to work overseas in like every other country. And for whatever reason, people just like to pretend that it doesn't suck here, but it does suck here.
I'm with you.
Also, Andrew Jones should be in the Hall of Fame. I could do a dissertation
Yeah.
on that.
I like to argue, like argue football and like animal fights. How big of an animal you can fight with your bare hands. Those are always fun.
Mhm.
Pick 2 to fight with you. The rest are coming to kill you. Those are fun.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because then you envision the battle that would take
Yeah,
place.
gorilla versus
Hey,
brown bear.
this is a great icebreaker for your incels that follow you to talk to a girl about. Because I always do this because it's fascinating to see everybody's logic. So I'll ask people, and I'll be like, "Would you rather fight 50 rat-sized lions or 1 lion-sized rat?"
Ew.
And see what the answer is. It's a fun thing to just break the
Mhm.
ice.
50.
A lion-sized rat is the most terrifying
Yeah,
thing I've
that-
ever heard of.
I just like shriveled up hearing that.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but then think about 50 little lions.
Just
bro.
kick 'em.
That's
Yeah,
just
but-
kick
Yeah,
'em.
just step
Sounds
on
good,
them.
but when there's 50 of them, 50, you can't step on all 50.
but the thing is, a lion's
and
mouth compared at a rat size is pretty small. So when it bites you,
Be like a cat.
less than a cat,
Yeah,
little
way
smaller
less.
than a cat.
I don't know enough about lion size or rat size lions.
So this
Yeah,
was a
it'd
good.
be fun-
This was a
it'd be
good
fun.
voicemail question.
Yeah,
Yep.
Prove the point.
yeah. Lions also are like. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. They're a little soft. Lionesses. Then we're talking some cats.
Mhm. All right, next voicemail.
Man, it's just called lion soft.
Yeah, male lions are soft. Lionesses do all the hunting.
Girl boss.
They're tough. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, what's up, microdosing? It's Julie from New Jersey. So, if you were in a Freaky Friday situation with a person you know best, could be a friend, significant other, family member, how long do you think you could go before someone noticed you switch bodies? And that's when I thought about it, and we think maybe a weekend, because honestly, when we get to work, I think my cover would be blown. So let me know what you think. Stay handsome and stay beautiful.
What is a Freaky Friday?
Like the movie?
Where you take over the other person's body, they take over your body. So, Arian, if it was you and Billy, you would be in Billy's body walking around, and Billy would be in your body walking around. And how long would it take for people to realize, whoa, there's something weird about Arian, or whoa, there's something weird about Billy?
I think I could play Billy pretty well. I got the same voice and shit as him.
Yeah.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
that shit down. Oh, easy. I could live the rest of your life, Billy.
I think I think we could get away with doing a podcast by imitating each other. Like we could get through a podcast, but I don't think day to day.
Yo, we should do that. We should just swap personalities.
We
for a
should
podcast.
AI generate each other like visually
really do it.
and then like voiceover, then just how they like redid the Drake track.
Yeah, that's technologically possible.
But the guy did it. He had Drake's voice. We could definitely do that where we switch voices. I think the visual would be hard, but I think there's a way we could do like a voice changer to change your voice to mine and mine to yours, and then we could actually do that.
I don't think so. Is that a thing?
I mean, it would be.
I bet in this scenario, if Billy became Arian, you would just work out. You would just like take the new body for a spin.
I'd appreciate
like
it,
it's a
'cause
car.
I've been slipping, honestly. Do your thing. Do your fucking thing.
I just run.
Go hard.
You would just run 100-yard dash.
just
Be
run.
like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Yeah.
just get it exactly where you want it, and then
dunk.
give it back.
Just like, hey, like it's like giving the car keys back. Like, hey, you can squat 500 pounds now. Like, run a 4.3.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I could do you actually because you have a dog. And then the moment I go home to your dog,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I was just thinking like the person I spend the most time around, at least probably like in terms of professional life for sure, Big Cat. If I took over Big Cat's body, they would find me out instantly because I would be at home. I'd wake up and I would not know what the fuck to do with 3 children. I would screw that up so quickly.
Oh yeah, Billy. If you switch bodies
like-
there, and you'd have to take care of kids.
Oh.
yeah.
I take care of a lot of animals. I mean, children aren't that different.
Same thing.
Just
Yeah,
like throw
BFT, you've had a
yeah.
dog.
like
Don't worry about it.
throw the
Yeah, I've had a dog. I can look after a few cats.
Put
Yeah,
food in
that's a
their
good
bowl,
one.
just
make sure they don't kill themselves.
feed
It's
'em.
Pretty simple.
like make sure they get exercise. Like, can't be that hard, right?
Let them out. The water dish full. Put the leash back where it goes. Yeah. Big T, what about you?
I think I'd do poorly in both, in someone assuming me and vice versa, because I'm a pretty unique person. So I feel like anyone that took over my body, it would be apparent relatively quickly that they were not me.
Especially if it was a smaller person that took over your body. They'd have to like learn how to walk around with those big ass feet.
Yeah. I had to get fitted for a tux yesterday, and the woman goes, "What size shoe do you wear?" And I said 17. She goes, "Not going to be able to try those on here." I was like, "Yeah, I figured. I got it. They'll be fine."
It's also weird how everybody no one's the same person to everybody. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about I act much differently with different groups of people just because, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Socially.
You're a chameleon.
Yeah.
Yeah, different kind of.
All right. Good sewed, guys.
Sweet.
Good sewed. I'm glad we got to the bottom of Hollow Earth,
Or not the bottom.
or to the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a porous earth.
All right.
Leveled
Yeah,
earth.
porous earth. It's like hummus or pumice. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. I'm gonna be back in studio next week.
So will
I'm
Arian.
I will too.
excited to.
I will be there.
When are you getting into town?
I get it on a Sunday night.
That's right. It's dozen week. We got the dozen coming up next week in the office.
so nervous.
Good luck, guys.
I'm in there. Fuck you. You ain't with us.
That's facts.
I'm rooting for you guys.
I don't care. I'm not rooting for you.
All right.
Arian, if you want to get some
Whatever.
runs in, we're playing. I usually play pickup every day. If you want to come to the courts,
Yeah. I'm actually might do it. I know I've said I've done it in the past, but I have. I'm gonna be out there for like a week, and I don't wanna go downhill with the diet and everything. So I might.
it's
take you up on
casual.
that.
It's
I'll let you
casual.
know.
It's nothing crazy.
I'm not gonna be banging. I'm just gonna be shooting. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next Tuesday for nanodosing. It's been macrodosing. Love you guys. Stay handsome. Stay gorgeous.